And we're live. You're listening to, oh, God, dog it. You're listening to The Peel. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, a little bit different angle today. We are at Sean's place and Edson's place. Eighth Wonder was having some stuff tonight. But what a horrible week. Well, let's not say horrible. I mean, the Dynamo did give us something to cheer about yesterday. But
so is that a plug,
international soccer wise?
Is that a plug for club over country, Justin? Was that what that was?
Right now, yes.
For the next 4 years? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge?
No. Not for the next 4 years. Because as we go through today's show, there are some positives, and it does not revolve around the senior team.
Well, that's
I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Remember, Women's World Cup qualifying starts
Yes.
within the next couple of months.
Yes.
U.S. Soccer will be voting for a new president.
You're assuming.
Well, there is an election, so I'm not assuming. I mean, there is an election.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, candidacy is up.
There is an election. The U17 World Cup's going on right now, which I actually need to bring up the scores, which they advanced today to the next round.
Yes, they did.
We'll get into that too.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. The U20s and U22s are the guys that we really need to pay attention to these next 4 years. They're gonna be playing in friendlies. There'll be some call ups, and I think going forward, those are what we need to look at. Close the door on some of these guys, and we'll get into that topic later. But I'll let you go ahead and do. Actually, hold on. Let me stop this right now. First, let's intro ourselves.
Yeah.
Justin.
I was wondering when
I'm
you were gonna
Justin.
get to that. I'm Sean.
Well, we wanted to start this rant.
I'm
fast.
Sean.
Go ahead.
I'm Edson.
Butters.
And we are The Peel. Also, this is our 50th episode.
Yay! Streamers and fireworks and stuff.
Josh unfortunately couldn't be here tonight.
He's sick again.
Yeah, he caught something.
And I'm willing to give him a pass because I've been sick all week.
Yeah,
so
there's something going around.
Are you sure he didn't lose a...
No, it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't fantasy related this time. No, I have to give him a pass because I caught something and was so bad off this week that I actually missed the Dynamo match last night.
Yeah.
I know, shame on me. I tried to find somebody to give my extra ticket to, but I couldn't. Edson did go in my stead, but I still had an extra ticket. But I had all intents to go to that match. I mean, I did watch it on TV. I did enjoy the hell out of watching it on TV after the first half.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I'm willing to give Josh a pass for that very reason.
Yeah. Good.
No, I'm just going to say hope he feels better.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We got about 3 minutes before we start getting really deep into our talks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to say, I mean, with everything tonight, it's kind of funny to see where this has all went. And Sean, you were part of it from the beginning. You were on a couple of our earlier shows, and it was one of those things like Josh and I were. I don't want to say belligerently because we weren't yelling at anybody, but we were drunk when we came up with this idea of doing a podcast. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is only going to last about three episodes max before I'm just like, no, I'm done. And now we're here at 50, and we've added two new people.
We've added an entire segment.
Yeah, we've added an entire segment of a true segment of Down in the Valley. Before
absolutely.
we were just calling Carson, and that was it.
Technically, it's his own show.
Yeah.
It really is.
Now, in case you guys didn't know, we are doing a soft launch tonight on KTXF.
DB, the real.
DB, the real, yes.
That's right, The Peel on the real.
Finally, it's happening.
You can, by the way, if you want to listen, which would be great because it drives up the listener numbers on KTXF. If you want to listen to KTXF right now, listen to us live on there just to hear what the broadcast sounds like on the radio, well, on the online radio. You can download the TuneIn app and search for KTXF DV and queue it up and listen to us because we are live on there right now.
Yeah.
As long as Justin did his job right.
Yeah, everything's working finally.
I'm just kidding. Crap.
The YouTube stream seems like it's going good.
Good deal.
Yeah, maybe
wow,
that's what we need.
That's a lot of YouTube chat.
Yeah, it is.
For like 10 seconds of us being on, it feels like. All
right,
so also,
do you have it up?
No, not yet. I'm going to pull it up, though. But first.
No, actually, I'm still going to pause you.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Carson says happy birthday.
Yeah,
thank you,
Carson
everybody.
does say
I
happy
appreciate
birthday.
it. Thank you. I am old.
One of the few bright spots this week.
Now I can't give you shit for the rest of the show. Damn it.
Oh, I can take your place.
We can give you shit for the rest of the show. Is that what you're saying?
Anyway, so we got about a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Okay, I need that.
Oh, I was going to read off the number.
Well, I was going to do that. I'm doing that.
Gotcha.
So first of all, you can find us on Twitter at ThePeel05. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ThePeel2005. You can find us on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Peel2005. And a bunch of other places like YouTube, which is where we're currently at.
Here.
That would have been a good idea, actually. And then also tonight we are going to do something extra special because we know that everybody. Okay, you're not Vanna White, so stop. We know that everybody right now has Fire, Fury, and Venom. I know we're about to read that off, Josh. Fire and Venom to share and to get in on this. So we're going to open up the phone line tonight. The number to call us is 281-849-7335.
Yes.
The number again, in case you missed it the first time around, is 281-849-7335. Butters over here is going to go ahead and screen your calls so nobody can call in with some like really messed up stuff.
Well, and also, I mean, we are technically on the radio now, so
yeah, we have to be a little more professional.
We can't yell and scream profanities, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, we have to be more professional about it. I already set up profanity, but we'll go there later. But yeah, so again, 281-849-7335. We're going to take calls in the order that they come in. So the sooner you call, the sooner you're going to get in. And we will open the floor to you. You can ask us questions. You can rant. You can rave. However you want to run with it. You know what? This is as much your show as it is ours. We are just simply here to try to be a voice for the fans, a voice for the people, if you will. God, I sound like a politician. We just want to be that voice. We want to give you an opportunity to get your thoughts out there, to get your opinions out there. And so, call in. The sooner the better, because we'd love to, queue you up and get you in the show as soon as possible.
Do you want to save the phone lines for the U.S. topics so we can get through the Dynamo?
Yeah, specifically, I should note that specifically tonight, just because of the time constraints we're under, we're going to go ahead and focus on U.S. soccer in probably about 45 minutes-ish, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, something like that. You can go ahead and call in now and we can queue you up, but we're only going to take calls related to U.S. soccer specifically. It can be anything about U.S. soccer, from Sunil Gulati to Bruce Arena to youth development to you name it. We'll take it as long as it's U.S. soccer based.
Yes.
So anyways, there's that plug.
I also do have to give a shout out because half of this would not have been able to get to where it's at now if it wasn't for Eric Weiss. He bought the soundboard. He bought our last set of mics. He helped finance us, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And didn't ask for anything back. So,
well, he's getting more back than he asked for.
Yeah, he is. And
thank you. We appreciate it.
I know I'm over this, but it's kind of funny to see how the talk has gotten. I mean, you started originally. I want to say you were probably one of the original Dynamo podcasts with Orange and the Oven, weren't you?
Yeah. There was one other one at the time. Actually, technically there were two because there was Keeper Notes, but
yeah.
There was, and then there was Glenn Davis, so there was four at the time. But there was Hero Hammer, which I think they're still going on. Yeah, with Wally, I think they're still going on. They were actually the original. They were before us.
Okay.
And Leo would go out there every once in a while and hang out with them. And, we had talked for a while that we wanted to do a podcast specifically centered around the Dynamo and something that was more, I hate to say this, Wally, I love you, man, but a little bit more professional, more this level.
Yeah.
And instead of kind of more like a fan roundtable, I guess is really what Hero Hammer I would consider it to be. And so we talked about that, and we finally started going that direction, and then stuff just happened. Everything happened all at once, and it just derailed everything. And then you guys kind of came along at the right time, and stuff has been working out, and we've just been an open door to opportunities. That's for sure.
I mean, I know some of this stuff gets a little crazy. Sometimes we're really good. Sometimes we're like, what the hell are they talking about? But
we're always bad.
That's if you look at it, that's a soccer fan in a nutshell, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's wins, losses, draws, it's highs, it's lows. It's exactly what this podcast has ended up being. I mean, with our, and it's very opinionated, which is great. I mean, there's been times behind the scenes, I'm pretty sure we've all been at each other's throats. But that's what makes this good, because you can't have the same opinion and be successful about talking about a sport that has so many different dynamics to it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's, I'm going to go ahead and try to bleed this over for a little bit, and then we'll cut to our first break and get right into the topics. Do a 10-minute segment about all this. Real quick, because we got about a minute left, Edson. How did you start following us? Because I know, I mean, you were listening down there in the valley, and then all of a sudden we're like, who's this guy Edson?
So true.
Basically, it was through Dynamo Theory, and so I started listening to y'all whenever I would get the chance, like if I was on break at work where I used to work at. And then I started noticing, I started seeing that you guys were also covering RGVFC, which is and also you can say that was the hook, to listen to you guys basically because over down there and there's nobody that would cover RGVFC. Mm-hmm. So I started listening to you guys, and it just so happened that I got hired here in Houston.
Hired. Oh, I thought he was talking about us.
Oh, he was talking about that.
So I got hired here in Houston for another job, and it was just kind of gradual how I told these guys that I could help them out,
Yeah.
in any way I could about RGVFC, and
it was one of those things. Like, to be honest, I mean, I don't want to say Josh and I, winged it, but it needed to have some kind of coverage. And at times, I'm not gonna lie, Josh and I didn't know what we were talking about really when it came to the tours. We just could tell from the stat line. Mm-hmm. And then Carson came along, and Carson, kind of helped point us in the right direction. We kind of gave that segment to him. Mm-hmm. And then now to have somebody that actually follows RGV passionately, it totally helps give us some kind of legitimacy to the RGV community. John, I thought you were about to say something.
I was going to say credibility. That's the word you were looking for.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for.
Yep.
Yeah, and thankfully now it's gotten to a point where there are some people from down there that are listening to y'all's podcast, not just for the down in the valley section, but for the whole show, which is always a good thing to expand our borders per se.
Yeah. I'm going to leave that alone because this is not a political
That
show.
must be Josh. Is Josh CM Punk?
Yeah, I really wanted to get on him about his YouTube handle.
So somebody liked old school wrestling, I guess. Late 90s. No, that's early 2000s wrestling.
Yeah. I am sharing this to Dynamo Theories page real quick, so if you could stall for about a second.
I'm stalling right now. So we want to talk Dynamo. So, of course, the big thing this week, as we, move away from what we've been talking about, which is the birth of this podcast, what it's meant, all that. The Dynamo, we podcasted last week before the match.
Yeah.
And then there was were there two matches last week?
Well, we had Charities Cup.
The Charities Cup. Okay, we can skip that match. Nobody cares to talk about that match. It was pointless. Although, credit to Tomas. He actually looked pretty good in that match. And then fast forward to last night's match. First half, we looked like crap. Thank you, Blues fan. Appreciate that truth. We're going to get there, Andres. I promise it's coming. Anyways, so, the Dynamo came out. They looked a little flat to me, honestly, to open the match. I mean, they pressed for opportunities. Shut up, both of you. They pressed for opportunity. You'll get your turn, I promise. You guys can also call in if you want to rant. They pressed for opportunities, but I felt like there was just something missing. And I felt like even as we entered the second half that it felt that way too. Like we weren't really able to find that final connecting pass, that final, our touches were a little bit off, which is really sad at home. That just made me so sad. You could definitely tell we were missing Elise and Kyoto. You could tell that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you got to go pee. I know.
No, I'm grabbing the other mouse.
Oh, all right. Cool. It's connected to the desktop, by the way. All right. Anyways, so about I don't remember what minute it was that we scored that first goal in, but that goal. It was, you could feel the relief, and I'm at home feeling this relief through the TV, so I can only imagine how you guys at the stadium felt on that first goal. Just like, okay, no, this team isn't going to give up. They're not reverting into a shell. They're pushing for a goal. And then that second goal, when Tomas hit that cross and it deflected off the SKC player knocked it into the goal for us. Thank you very much, Eric Palmer Brown. You are the MVP of that match by far.
He's probably just thinking of moving over to the EPL.
And yes, Wilmer did break out the 4-4-2 for the match, which was fantastic. Good call out, Brian. But what I was trying to get to really, the kind of crux of it all is that for the first time, it feels like in a while, I saw heart out of the team. I saw intensity. I saw a drive, a determination, a desire to not just score, but a drive and determination to freaking win that match. Mm-hmm. And sitting here at home, it was, oh my God, finally it clicks. You could see it out of Kubo. You could see it out of Mario. You could see it out of everybody. I mean, everybody was pushing. Everybody was trying. And it was just great to get that second goal. And you could see, I mean, as much relief as I felt with that first goal, that second goal, I was in tears. This is not a joke. I was crying because I didn't think that, I knew we were going to win. I called it out beforehand. But I really, at that point, I was just so frustrated. It seemed so much bad that it was amazing.
Do you want to do our first sign-off into our break?
Sure. It's time to sign off. So we are The Peel, and you're listening to us on KTXF DB The Real via TuneIn. I'm sorry, via TuneIn, because that's the only way you can listen right now. Via TuneIn, so download the app. It's awesome. We appreciate it. Or also via YouTube.
Good.
And that's it.
All right.
Hi, I'm Andrew Wanger, and you're listening to The Peel.
And we're back.
Yeah, welcome back to The Peel.
So we've had a couple of chat comments from the YouTube chat, and the first one is from Blues fan. So relieved now. Go get a second. Was his thoughts? We were just talking about the Dynamo match, and wholeheartedly agree. As soon as that first goal went in, it was like, all right, push for that win. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say also, I meant to mention earlier, and I probably should have did it in the intro. We do have Jesus Acevedo, who writes for MLSsoccer.com. He's at every Dynamo match. He will be on our YouTube chat tonight. So if you have any questions for him and we don't get to it, definitely hit him up. He will probably answer them.
Yeah, for sure. And he just made a good comment too that it was interesting that Dynamo did come out kind of flat in the first half because Wilmer used the U.S. men's national team loss to tell the players not to leave things for the last match. He really wanted them to go out and win it and not leave it until the last match of the season. And I think we kind of saw that towards the end of the match. I don't know if maybe it clicked that, hey, we really can't leave this to the last match. We've only got a couple matches left. Or if maybe they just weren't, for whatever reason, weren't figuring it out in the first half and they finally did in the second half. I don't know. But you definitely saw a different attitude. It felt like a different, intensity to the way they were playing. Like I said, there was a drive and a determination that I haven't really felt this season, except when we were up or, really pushing it on another team. And it was just really good to see it, and it felt really good to, even from home, it felt really good to see that and to experience that. So.
And also, just the fact that I believe there was a stat that MLS put that the Houston Dynamo had never won, at least this season, being down at halftime.
Correct. We've only won once when giving up the first goal, and we had never won when trailing at halftime. So both of those definitely were huge statistics to kind of just, get the monkey off our back, so to speak, on both directions, especially the playoffs approaching. Yeah. The advantage to us taking the win is that that win leaves us in fifth place, which is, okay, whatever. But it gave us, we're 1 point, I think, behind fourth place, and we're now 4 points up on sixth place, which is FCD for now. And by the way, we need to go back and we do need to just plug this real quick. Frisco, for whatever reason, thank you MLS for being, was only slapped on the wrist. Bad boys. For an illegal substitution, which in FIFA rules is supposed to be a forfeit of a game 3-0. And 3-0 loss. Instead, MLS in their infinite wisdom, which those two phrases do not belong in the same sentence, In their infinite wisdom, they decided that instead of actually, upholding what FIFA has had standing for probably more than decades now, decided that in order to be fair about it, they just needed to penalize Frisco with a small fine, and that would be that. And that's just really, really frustrating as a Dynamo fan. I feel even worse for Orlando fans. And what I think exacerbated the issue even more is there were so many coaches and GMs and front office personnel from other clubs that had nothing to do with this event that all came out against this fine. They said the FIFA statutes, the FIFA rules, the FIFA regulations are very clear on this. It should be a forfeited match, and it should be a 3-0 loss for Dallas and a 3-0 win for Orlando. It's MLS. What else can I say? MLS.
It's ridiculous because you're setting a precedent. Oh, it's like, oh, okay, I can put in an illegal player on there, and even if they make me forfeit, or like, hey, well, they did this before, and they only gave him a slap on the wrist. Yep. So I can just hide a player, say that he won't be eligible to play, and then the last minute make a change once you get the other team's lineup. That's cheating.
Well, you can make the change at the last minute. The problem is that player cannot then sub back on. However, here's my thing. If I'm a coach and I go ahead and make that last minute change, if that player is still on my bench and I have the possibility to sub them in if I'm down or if I'm up or whatever, whatever makes sense for that player, if all I think that I'm going to have to deal with is a fine and not an actual forfeited match, why wouldn't I just go ahead and play them? I mean, especially now that we're in the playoff crunch. I mean, this is a serious issue that has been completely just swept under the rug by MLS. I don't care if it's the fault of the official. I don't care if it's the fault of Frisco. It doesn't matter who's at fault. What matters is that this is a long-standing rule, long-standing regulation within the FIFA rules, within MLS's own rules, which now they're saying, hey, you know what? We don't take our own rules all that seriously. Go ahead and bend them. Go ahead and break them. We don't care. However, it does make me wonder, if it was not a club that MLS kind of coddles, I wonder really what would have happened. If that had been the Dynamo and Chris Canetti, would we have seen the same thing happen?
No, probably
we would have been. Wilmer would have been suspended a match. We would have been fined. We would have forfeited the match. The player would have been suspended for 3 matches. I mean,
but I guess it helps having the last name Hunt in your name, I guess.
Well, there's a very, very good point, and I'm actually going to go into that a little bit when we get into the U.S. soccer stuff because there's something to talk about related to that too.
Let's talk the positives of this match. I mean, we could spend all day talking about MLS and their lack of following anything.
I just wanted to bring it up. It just needed to be brought up. Because we talked about it last week, and I said, if MLS is looking at it, that means they're planning to go along with what's there, and then they find them, and I'm like, why even bother at that point? Anyways, positives.
I'm looking at the goal from Tomas again, and it was
beautiful.
I mean, the setup from Morrow.
That pass, though, that cross from Wenger. No, it was Sanchez. Who crossed that in?
I believe it was Wenger. It was Wenger.
It was Wenger. No, it was AJ.
Oh, it was AJ.
It was AJ. That cross was not a great cross, to be honest with you, but the defender did us a solid by deflecting it to Tomas, and Tomas's finish. He wasn't brought here to finish. He's not a finisher by nature, but he has 2 goals in the last 3 matches.
But I did,
or his last 3 matches.
And I had told Josh this before. I said once Tomas finds the net, he will continuously find the net because I just
so the difference is compared to where he was playing. We're letting him play in that higher role. We're pushing him higher up the pitch, which is what he wants to play and how he wants to play. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing the benefit of it. And then also, Jesus just called it out too. Yeah. Sanchez is a big part of that as well because he pulls defenders off. Morrow pulls defenders off. Kubo pulls defenders off. Kyoto and Elise are going to pull defenders off.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was, and that first pass from Sanchez to AJ was just incredible. Yeah. That first through ball was just picture perfect. And, of course, it was Sanchez. It had to be Sanchez because he was the one, until he started coming back to get the ball, until he started becoming more involved himself and forcing himself to be involved with the actual play, then, that's when things started happening and started developing for the Dynamo. But I say all that to what I'm really trying to say is that I completely agree with you that Tomas needed time. He's gotten the time now. We're starting to see the benefit of that. And I think what we're also seeing is that, you know what, Tomas is probably as legit as they come.
Yeah.
Like, he's, he had a lot of hype, but he's kind of starting to live up to it already.
Yeah. Real quick, before we forget, because, it's Josh's thing, we will go through the lineup real quick. We did have Derek in that. Your back line was AJD Senderos. Senderos. I always say it wrong.
Yeah.
Leonardo
Well,
Remick.
can't be perfect.
Wenger, Clark, Alexander, Martinez, Sanchez, and Manotas playing up top, which they were interchangeable all night.
Did anybody happen to see or hear anything about Remick? Is he okay? I mean, he looked okay after the first few minutes of the injury.
But he did have ice on his foot after the match.
Okay.
He was limping pretty bad.
So they showed a replay in the actual broadcast, and it looked like what happened is when he cleared the ball or when he was pushing the ball forward, the opposing player, the SKC player, actually raked his cleat unintentionally across the part of the foot, the ankle, between the shin and between his actual foot.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no protection there whatsoever. And so I think he got him with his studs, and that's just never a good time.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that pisses me off now is nothing against DMB, but that means DMB is definitely going to be starting in SKC.
You have to assume so. I mean, I would have assumed so anyways, because he didn't play. And I think also along the same lines, you know what? We should have Elise back. We should have Kyoto back. We should have Boney back. So that'll be...
Well, we'll talk about that in the next segment because Josh and I were talking about it.
No.
About who we honestly think is going to be starting that match.
And by the way, I agree with you, Josh. We really need to take advantage of Malia being injured for 2 to 4 weeks, which...
Is it 2 to 4 or 3 to 5?
It's 2 to 4. It could be up to 5, but I've seen 2 to 4 as the primary initial diagnosis. You have one. It's right there in your koozie.
Where's yours?
That's a great koozie.
Thank you.
It's actually right over there.
Oh, you're failing.
Well.
Edson, you're going to get a beer on our next break because I brought like 30 beers over. So you're going to drink. Anyway, so we had Saloy. Is that how you say his name? Up top for SKC. Blessing, Fernandez.
Yes. Yeah, Saloy. Saloy. Yeah,
Madranda,
like
Sanchez, Espinoza, Sinovic, Palmer Brown, Opara, who only had a few good looks this entire match. Abdul Salim and Dykstra. Not Lenny Dykstra from the Phillies. I'm sorry, I'm repping tonight.
Hey, Homer, get out.
Hey, at least they represent my home team, Edson.
So many inside jokes all in the same time. Wow.
But yeah, I think Melina not playing at all Malia, excuse me, not Melina. Do you think that really played that big of a role into this match? Or do you think if he would have started, this would have been a completely different result? Sean.
Sorry, my sister is offering my nieces for the weekend, and I was...
Do you think if Malia would have started, it would have been a completely different match, or do you still think we would have came out on top?
Oh, man, that is so tough.
That's
you know what? Credit to Dykstra. That one save that he made before we got that goal, I thought that save that he made, that was going to set that tone, and that we were just done. Like, that was it. I felt like we were going to shell it up, and then, I mean, it was just... Can't say enough about that save. It felt like save of the week on the Sanchez.
Speaking of
the Sanchez free kick. So credit to Dykstra on that. I think Malia probably would have done the same thing, but I don't know. I feel like it probably would have been the same result, to be honest with you. I feel like the deflection from the SKC player, there was nothing that the goalkeeper could do, and I felt like what happened with Tomas, there was nothing the goalkeeper could do.
Yeah. So I will say, Tyler Derrick on the other side played his balls out.
Oh, yeah.
With a couple of those. Because, I mean, in reality, with some of those, it could have easily been 3-2.
I will say this. The first goal, even though Eddie was ranting and raving that it was a beautiful goal and it was a great goal, to me, it just didn't look like another... It wasn't a great goal to me. It was another kind of... It shouldn't have happened. It was another one of those, like... it was another one of those where the player came across the front of, the front of the defense type of thing and made the shot. The pass came across the front of the defense and nobody came out on the player. It's another one of those where the defenders just need to pressure more. The defensive mids need to help over. That was a Rico should have been helping over. He was a little slow getting over. But all the same, I mean, we won. I'm not going to harp on it too bad, but we won. We won. Yes. We won when we needed to win. Let's go do it again in KC. Let's do it in KC. Yes, please.
There are a couple things I did want to bring up. Can I just talk about how Philippe, or whatever his first name is.
Senderos.
Philippe.
Close enough. Can I just say how he was throwing his almost 40-year-old body around? I mean,
He's the same age as the other guys. He's maybe 2 years older.
I thought he was 37.
Bro, no, that's
No?
only Sanchez.
Is it?
He is not.
I thought he was up there
37.
in age.
I will look it up
Yeah,
right
please
now.
do. No, I mean, I don't. I know I'm wrong on his age, but I know the guy's old.
I was what filled me a lot with nervousness was in the first half, like how there were a couple of plays where it just seemed like the center backs just weren't able to clear the ball out, and there was one Tyler Derrick save where it was like
He's 32.
It was
32.
Yeah.
what?
He's younger than I am. To be fair, if they're playing in MLS, they're probably younger than I am.
And you know, it's just like they tried like 3 times to clear the ball, and then the first time it bounced off who was it? I think it was Clark. No, Leonardo. It bounced off
It was Leonardo, and then Senderos tried to clear it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sequence just had me. I
felt that they were going to score.
I thought it was destined to go in.
Remick did play extremely well, but the
Yes.
one thing that did bother me about Wilmer's tactics was he had Dylan playing extremely high up and pressing him high.
Yeah, we were talking.
You
about
cannot do that with a team like SKC. I mean, with Blessing speed.
that. Yeah, and they showed it in the first
Yeah.
half. There was
And
a
that-
lot of counterattacks.
Exactly.
Well, I mean that's what we do too.
Well, yes, but you have to change that per team. That can't be your go-to every match.
Yeah.
Especially when you have an offense like SKC. You can't do that to Dylan.
You can't give them the space because
And it has nothing to do with Dylan.
No.
Dylan's fast.
Yeah.
But Blessing's also faster.
Yes.
So, I mean, you can't.
You know what though? You say that, but I mean, I felt like Dylan limited Blessing about as good as any outside back has limited Blessing this
He
season.
still did. But did you see SKC on the counter? I mean, when they did, Dylan was dead to rights.
But that's going to happen. You can't. The problem is when you start reacting to the opposition, you stop being proactive in how you approach the game. You get away from your strengths in order to just simply defend their strengths. You got to focus on, okay, what are our strengths and what are their weaknesses? Those two things are what you have to focus on as a coach. And I felt like Wilmer actually did a good job of that. We didn't see it in the first half because I felt like we just came out flat. And anytime you come out flat, you're going to look that bad. And I do think there's a mental thing there as well. Like we need to figure out what the hell is going on with it coming out flat in matches when these are like really, really important matches. But you know, I felt like Remick really played his heart out. He looked as good at, like I said, I mean, he looked as good as an outside back can look against Blessing. I felt like AJ looked really good considering who he was against. You know, Dylan also had Gerso on his side. He held Gerso and Blessing to like 2 chances in the first half. It felt like a lot more, but once they got the ball, he was there covering in some way, shape, or form. He was there pressing in some way, shape, or form. And if it wasn't him, then it was Tomas, or it was Rico, or it was Alexander. Alexander did a very good job in that role. I really like him in that role. And he would come back when he could and cover when he could. I think the only reason we even gave up that goal, like I said, is because Rico was late coming over. Alexander had shifted into the box to help cover against Blessing, to help cover against Gerso. And unfortunately, what happened was they passed away from them into the middle of the pitch, where Rico was a little slow getting back, and that leaves a man open. And unfortunately, there's a Madronda, and unfortunately, he nailed it home. It wasn't a great goal, but it is a goal. It is what happens. They had the shift on the defense. They had the shift on the keeper. It was an easy goal.
Well, you got something?
No.
Oh, okay.
And again, just a reminder, because we're getting very close to this point. If you want to call in, if you want to rant, now is the time. 281-849-7445?
7335.
7335. Let me correct that. It's 281-849-7335. Please call. We want to talk to you. We love you guys.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to put it on the feed. There we go.
I already have the feed up. Okay.
No, I was putting the phone number up there.
Oh,
Okay. So it was a 2-1 win
okay.
by the Dynamo. Where does that put us in the standings?
Puts us 5th. We didn't move.
How many points? 46?
45.
45.
It puts us one below.
No, 46 because we were on
46, yes.
43, which is 1 point
Yes.
ahead of FCD. That's how I know how many points we have.
And-
By
and-
the way, just let it be clear. I want this to be known. We are currently at the exact number of points that I predicted for this team for the entire season, with 2 matches to go. I would love for us to break that point.
We're pushing up against the break, but real quick, Brian Page says Tomas going inside to play number 10 left a lot of room for Dylan to get forward.
I agree, and he looked good going forward. Remick always has.
Yes, so go ahead and send us to break, Sean.
We're going to break.
Público!
You can listen. No, you can listen to us on. Okay, so we're the Peel, and you can listen. You are probably listening to us on YouTube or SoundCloud or Google Play Music or iTunes, and also now you can download the TuneIn app and listen to us on TuneIn via the KTXF DB, the Real radio station. We are the Peel on the Real. Click, 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 click.
Yeah, I'm setting a timer. Hold on.
You could have set that before I finished my
I was
rant.
working
I
on
think
it.
not my
I
rant, my
was working on
spiel.
it.
We'll get to that eventually, guys.
Yeah, I know. Arena out. Yes, yes, yes. They're
It's funny how they're going letter by
They're
letter.
just spelling it out letter by letter repeatedly over and over. All right, let's go to the break.
All right.
I'm Brad Davis, and you're listening to The Peel.
And we're back. You're listening to The Peel. We're on The Real, KTXF DB, The Real. You can download the TuneIn app on your phone and listen to us live. KTXF DB, The Real.
So after that that much needed 2-1 win over SKC and picking up 3 points, we are going to SKC on Sunday, right? Sunday? Yes.
And
That's right.
yes, it is Sunday, and then Sunday again the following week here in
Yes,
Houston.
last 2 matches of the season.
Yep. And everybody plays the same time, with the exception of 4 teams. 2 matches are being played at like earlier in the afternoon, and then everybody plays after that. And then on that next Sunday, everybody plays at the same time because it's decision day.
Yep.
By the way, hi Cisco. So glad you snuck in to be able to listen to us. We appreciate you, man.
Yes. So we are taking on SKC in SKC.
And Malia will still be out, which is
Yes.
a huge bonus for the Dynamo. Hopefully we didn't tip our hand too bad. I don't think we did because
No.
we should have Elise and Kyoto back for this match. We should have Machado back for this match. How much are they going to play? I don't know. I hope they play the whole
will
match.
get into that.
I hope they play the whole match, but for sure.
To do my thing, I'm not going to give predictions today because you guys don't. Well, not predictions, the percentages because you guys don't like that.
And why don't we like that? Because those percentages are so very rarely actually right.
If I was a betting man, I'd go with those percentages.
I'd be curious. Okay, so next season, this is what we're going to do. Cisco would go along with this. We're going to spreadsheet this out. We're going to use those percentages, and we're going to see if we bet on each of these matches based on their percentages.
I'll be the.
How much would we win or lose?
I'll do the percentages, and you guys bet against them.
That's fine. Oh, dude, I'm all about that.
No, I mean not like actual money,
No,
but,
no, 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 I
but
know.
to see the math.
Yeah,
in it.
we'll track
I am
it.
Curious.
Yeah, we'll see which of us
but
is better.
Out of 35 total matches,
yeah.
that includes Open Cup and includes playoffs.
Yeah.
We've played them 35 times. 14 wins.
SKC?
Yes.
Okay.
14 wins, and this is good. 12 draws.
Yeah.
9 losses.
That's actually
it.
pretty solid.
Yes.
That's total, though.
That's total. It's not at home.
That
That's
includes
not
when we
MLS.
beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Multiple times.
Yes.
Actually, only once. We only beat them in the Eastern Cup. But we did beat them twice in the playoffs to kick them out of the playoffs, which is great.
And I think I saw it was a +9 goal difference, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, we've usually gotten the better of them. They hate to hear that, but it's true.
Even better, which I actually didn't expect this because I hadn't actually looked. It was 12 matches on the road against SKC, and this is all MLS. This is outside of Open Cup or anything like that. 12 matches, 4 wins, 6 draws, 2 losses, and a +1 goal difference.
Yeah,
not what I was
sounds
expecting,
about right.
actually.
Yeah.
So, good numbers to look into. It does play into our favor.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from this match? I'm not saying prediction, just pure play.
I want to see. Now I'm going to say what I want to see, not what I expect to see. What I want to see, I want to see us come out, the Dynamo come out, and absolutely put it to SKC. I'm sure that's all what we all want to see, be truthfully. But I want to see it because I want to see that fire, that intensity from Kyoto and Elise coming back, especially if they get to start. Because Elise is on fire right now. Yeah. If he's not starting, even if he only plays for a half, even if he only plays for 30 minutes, even if he only plays for 60 minutes, whatever, I don't care. He needs to start because he will help apply that pressure on SKC. He will help apply that pressure on Dykstra. He will help apply that pressure on their back line. They should, I guess, technically have Beasler back.
Not yet.
Big whoop.
Yeah.
But they should have Beasler back. I mean, that helps their back line a little bit. I'll be interested to see, if they try to play Zusi at right wing or right mid or right back. I mean, the Dynamo broadcast said that he was apparently suspended on suspension. I thought he was just gone on national team duty. Maybe they had that wrong. I don't know. You can look that up.
Yeah, I got it.
Because it was curious to me that he would be on suspension considering he was with the national team.
Well, he could still be on suspension on the club level.
He could be, but if he was part of the game day 18 for the U.S. men's national team roster, he cannot serve a suspension while out playing for a national team.
Correct. So this last match wouldn't have counted.
If he was actually suspended. Correct. I don't think he was suspended. I could be wrong, however, which would be great for us.
Yeah.
But
he said Beasler will be mentally destroyed. Josh said that.
Only hope. No, that's terrible, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Zusi suspended from a red card on as of October 10th.
So
was
he in the 18 for the U.S. men's national team?
Yes, I want to say he was on the bench.
If he was in the 18, then he did not serve his red card suspension. He might still be on suspension, which would be huge for the Dynamo. Very helpful, in my opinion. I mean, the team doesn't revolve around him anymore.
I don't want to bring this scoring line up. I really don't.
He's pulling up the U.S. match. I'm so sorry. You might as well just wait.
Yeah, Zusi was
in the 18. Yep. So, yeah, he couldn't serve a suspension for MLS by playing in a national. I mean, that just completely violates FIFA rules. Of course, this is MLS now, and violating FIFA rules apparently only gets you a slap on the wrist and a fine. Screw you, MLS. Yes. But, it is what it is. I think that we just have this is the perfect match to come out and stick it to SKC. If we come out and win this match, that puts us 1 point behind SKC. If we come out and win this match, that puts us in prime position to finish in third or fourth, even possibly second this season. If we come out and win this match, we are guaranteed to make it to the playoffs.
So
come out and win, period.
Let me ask you this then. Would you rather not have a bye week or an off week going into a playoff run, or would you rather go straight through? Because you can look at baseball because baseball is the same way. Typically, teams that finish the series early typically fall apart deep into playoffs because they just don't have that momentum.
Yes.
I want to finish. I've said this before. I want to finish third or fourth.
So you don't get that break.
I don't want the full break.
No, I don't either.
Third or fourth gives us a home match for the play-in, for the single elimination play-in round, the wild card round, I guess is what they're calling it. Third or fourth also means that we have the first match for the conference semis here in Houston, which I think plays into us very well.
Yes.
My only concern is this: with Honduras qualifying to go to that playoff match against Australia, we're going to lose Elise and Kyoto for a portion of the playoffs. I don't know exactly when that is. I think that's late October.
Something like that.
Yeah. So if it's late October, it very well could be right before or right after the play-in match. That hurts us tremendously because we're talking missing. I mean, no, we just proved we can beat KC at home without those players, but they would be with all of their best players. They would have Zusi. They would have maybe possibly have Melia back. If not Melia, then they would still have Beasler coming back. and I think one other guy that they had out. But, you know, I want to finish third or fourth. I mean, if we could finish second, all the more power to us. I think that would be great. I do just feel like if we finish third or fourth, that it would be great. And I completely agree with you, Josh, that third would be great because the bye week would potentially have the possibility to slow us down. Blues fan says that the play-in match is in November, or the playoff match for Australia Honduras is in November. So that does work to our favor then because we could hit that playoff match, possibly even the conference semis. That might mean that they might miss the conference final, which would suck really hard, really bad, because there's no doubt in my mind that they're going off to Honduras for that playoff match. Honduras needs a lease right now, and Kyoto, for that matter, really bad. Yeah. And also, I just want to throw it out there, I think Honduras beat Australia.
Yeah.
I think Honduras have a good enough team right now, a good enough attack right now to beat Australia. But, you know, going into this match, I think the big keys really for the match are just us making sure that we take the time to, you know, mentally prepare for this match in the right way. Thank you, Blues fan. I think we tend to come out a little slow for most away matches, and I think we need to come out just absolutely guns blazing on fire.
Jesus says that the FIFA window is from November 6th to
the 14th. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Logic says the wild card playoff game would fall in that window. Is that wild card or Western Conference? That's got to be a wild card, so it shouldn't affect them. Ditto. I hate Tim Cahill too. He's a great player. I hate him. 7 seconds. That's all I got to say.
We'll get into more the World Cup stuff, but I honestly think Honduras could beat Australia.
I already said that.
Yeah, I know. I was just adding
I believe it. So does Jesus, apparently. I think we're all in agreement. Honduras has enough to beat Australia. Yes. All right. So with that said, is it time for break, or we still got time?
We still got time. We got 5 minutes.
All right. Sweet. Well, I'm kind of done with the Dynamo stuff.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, going back to Honduras, I think they played Mexico really well. They
We'll get there, Jesus, I promise.
But the only thing I didn't really like was all the flopping at the end, which is, I mean,
but that's CONCACAF. That's CONCACAF in general, though.
Yeah, but still, that doesn't mean I agree with it. But I mean, well played.
But that's what SKC does. SKC has been notorious for.
I follow Jesus. Sorry.
Especially when you have a ref like Baldomero
Toledo. Baldy.
Yeah. He was like, every time an SKC player fell to the ground.
Okay, have you seen the Baldo memes that I used to do on Dynamo Theory like 4 or 5 years ago? No joke. No. I had a meme that I created of Baldo, and he's going and he's got a red card, and it says, and I kid you not, I made this, and it says, "Is that a card in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?" And it was used religiously every time we had a Baldomero Toledo refereed match, and it was still to this day, I will never forget how lovingly everybody had that meme saved to their folders and everything.
Can I throw something out there because I just happened to scroll through it?
Sure.
Who's on the yellow card suspension?
Nobody's on yellow card suspension.
Who's on a red card suspension?
Nobody's on red card suspension.
Who's on a...
Albert Elise has to be on good behavior for the next 5 games.
Or he's suspended for the next 5?
Yeah.
Why?
It's not 5.
Well, it's not... Yeah, it is. As of... It doesn't have when it was, but yes, 5. Numbers of caution, 7. Remaining games for good behavior, 5.
Somebody needs to tell Elise that he can be fired up, but not that fired up. Well, actually, you know what? Okay, look. If we go out and we win this match against SKC,
yes,
and he gets a yellow card, but he does it while scoring multiple goals, I can give him a pass because you know what? We play Chicago here in Houston.
Yes.
And you know what? If there's a game for him to be suspended on yellow card accumulation, it is that game for sure. Now, if we come out and we draw SKC and he gets a yellow card, Elise, you will be in my doghouse, son.
We got 3 minutes, so I guess we'll get into...
So Patrick threw this stat out there. Toledo is averaging approximately 3, and I think this is incorrect. I think this is him pulling it out of his butt, but whatever. Toledo is averaging like 3 VAR calls a game. Every guy in the booth knows he's crap.
Get frosty at least.
Black Panther mask, please. Si, senor. I want him to pull out. Okay, so if he pulls out the Black Panther mask in SKC,
Oh, God.
how many fingers is he going to get flipped?
Oh, he's gonna get more than fingers.
Oh, I do
There's
have
gonna be beers. There's gonna be. You think maybe it will turn into Liga MX cups of piss? You think that?
No,
think
they'll
that's
turn
gonna
into
happen?
Philly. He'll get batteries thrown at him.
I think
I will wait. I will wait.
so. My question was because I didn't know if they did or not, because I know in a lot of leagues you're not allowed to use any props for celebrations or you get a yellow.
He didn't get a yellow for that.
Okay, that wasn't
So
my question.
MLS's rule is you can use a prop as long as it's something like that where it's not
Offensive.
What you can, yeah, it's not offensive.
Sean, I'd have to go back and look at that. I think he got a yellow that game.
No, Kyoto got a yellow in that game because
No, I think
Kyoto
they
took
both
his.
got a yellow in
I
that
don't.
game.
Elise did not get a yellow for the mask. Kyoto got a yellow because he took his jersey off.
Yes, and he pulled the Messi.
Yes,
So-
and you know what though? Give Kyoto credit. I don't give a flying flip that he got a yellow that game. That was worth it.
Yes, it was worth it. What was that? That was last weekend?
Yeah.
Seventh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 7th.
Waiting. I'm waiting.
The 7th of
yes.
September.
No,
October.
it wasn't.
It wasn't the 7th?
No.
No, that was 5 days ago, bro. The 7th was 5 days ago.
It's not on there.
The 7th was 5 days ago.
Yeah.
That was Saturday, right?
Because there was World Cup qualifiers going on. That's why it wasn't.
There it is right there.
No,
No, that was
that's-
KC.
Yeah.
What? Oh, no, it was 2 weeks ago.
30th.
Yes, it was 2 weeks
Okay.
ago. That's why. Because we had the World Cup qualifier
Yes.
break. I know we all kind of blacked out during that time. Like, we don't
'Cause it was
want
against
to
Minnesota.
remember.
That's Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
We do have a minute. So, Sean, what are...
Elise did get a yellow. Everybody is making sure I know that he got it. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Andres. Thank you, Brian.
Albert Elise.
That sucks.
Yeah,
Delay
Okay,
of
Elise is
restart
not.
of play.
It sucks, but he's not allowed to pull out the Panther mask. Then he's got to be on good behavior. That sucks because he could have had good behavior if he didn't do that. But you know what? I'm okay with it because you
Yes.
know what? We need personalities in MLS. MLS needs to loosen up those restrictions. I think if it's
I
offensive,
think FIFA as a whole, because I remember back in my kid years,
yeah. Hurry up.
you know, just seeing a lot of mask or seeing what's his name, Sebastian Gonzalez with his Chavo. Or,
How many players would you see back in the day? I mean, not just in the Liga, but in Premier League, in
Josh
Bundesliga.
says, hey, Sean, he got a yellow.
Hey, Josh, I got something for you, and it ain't a yellow, buddy. Anyway, so how many players would you see back in the day? And it was great back then. They would pull their shirt up, and they would have a T-shirt that had writing on underneath it or
well,
something
they
like
still
that.
do
Yeah,
that.
it was a protest or whatever. On that note, however, it is time for...
We'll push this just a couple seconds. Predictions.
Put up your freaking hand at me, then, jerk.
We'll do predictions, and then we'll go to break, and then we'll start with soccer talk.
Yes, that is my apartment, Francisco. What'd you say?
Go ahead with your prediction, then we'll go to
I
break.
thought we weren't doing prediction.
No, we are.
You said we weren't doing
No, I
predictions.
wasn't doing percentages.
Oh, right.
Follow along.
Okay, so prediction. Okay, prediction. Prediction. All right, you ready?
Yes.
And this is all predicated, of course, if Elise and Kyoto start. 3-0 Dynamo. I got a good feeling. Oh, that's not a good sign. Oh, anytime I've had a really good feeling, it's bad. I'm sticking to it though. 3-0 Dynamo
Edson.
on the road in KC.
I say the score remains the same 2-1 Dynamo.
I'll take that though. Be the bearer of bad news.
No, I'm not going to be the bearer. of
Be
bad
the
news.
negative Nancy.
Because I'm actually going to say, I mean, as much as I don't want to draw, going to KC's also in the playoff hunt. I do think a draw, not that it's a good thing, but I think it matters.
Yes.
It's still better than a loss in this situation.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm going to go 2-2 draw. Solely because it is KC.
Blues fan and Andres both think that their favorite segment is when the timer goes off. Hey guys, you're funny.
So, I'm
why
not
are
saying
you
they're
bothering?
losing.
Why are you guys even bothering listening and watching then? You know you love us, don't lie. We love you too. Oh, a timer that goes off? Is it on your laptop that it's like beeping or something?
That's funny. I have to mute that. All right, so we are going to go to break.
Drugs, man. Is that the phone he's asking? Now they're all curious where the sound is coming from.
It's coming from here.
Just so you guys know, we don't actually hear that sound in our headphones, so none of us realized this was going on. That's
right,
great. Everybody's loving it.
Go ahead and throw us the break.
All right, so you're listening to The Peel on The Real, KTXF DB The Real. You can listen to us. Thanks, Josh. We really appreciate that. Hey, y'all's timer is going off and making a noise. We can't hear you. Oh, that should be remedied.
Yeah, they can hear us now.
Okay, did you fix it? All right.
Yeah.
So you're listening to us. We should have fixed it by now. It reminds me of Moffat. Oh my God, there's so many great YouTube chat comments right now. You're listening to The Peel on KTXF DB The Real via TuneIn. You can download the TuneIn app and listen to us on KTXF DB. You can listen to us live on YouTube. You can also listen to us live. Well, on YouTube. You can listen to us later on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music. And you can check us out on Twitter at ThePeel05, on Facebook, facebook.com/ThePeel2005, and ThePeelLive.com.
And when we get back, we will dive deep into this U.S. soccer talk, starting with the match itself and then going from there. So
I'm so ready for this U.S. conference or discussion because Patrick just had the perfect YouTube comment. That's great.
A whole hour of U.S. soccer talk.
And maybe more.
Yes. Go on break, guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? Kalen Carr here. And when I'm listening to Houston Dynamo news, I'm listening to The Peel Forever Orange.
Welcome back to The Peel. This is the moment that everybody has been waiting for. We are also live on KTXF, finally, and on YouTube, SoundCloud. This will be on SoundCloud and
Google Play Music,
Google
and
Play,
iTunes.
Yeah, I don't do it. It's not my thing. So
I know. That's why I
throwing
got
all
your
off.
back. I got your back.
Yeah. But welcome back. We have. What word can we not say on the radio?
Bad words. Just don't say bad words.
Well, I do want to say one, and I don't think it's too bad.
I don't trust you're not too bad.
I'm not saying the F word.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. There's other words that you shouldn't say. Just say it and get it out real quick.
We are going to talk about the shit show that was Trinidad versus U.S.
You shouldn't normally say that on the radio, but for this instance, I'll allow it.
We need a beep button.
Beep.
Yeah. It was an absolute pathetic showing of the U.S. men's national team. It was...
You know, I'm going to say this. Pathetic is too light of a word.
Well, I wanted to throw in there, Taylor put it best. It was
I totally forgot what he said. I had it memorized and I just totally dropped the ball.
That's okay. I'm gonna read a couple of tweets off real quick.
Okay.
Or not tweets, but a couple of YouTube chat messages that have been really funny. So first of all, going back to the whole alarm sound that everybody was hearing, Patrick said can't hear them talk with the alarm on. Galati may use that tactic for his conference call. Yeah, that's probably I would use it too if I was him. It's pretty funny. So your girlfriend has decided that every time Sunil's last name is said, that they're supposed to take a shot. You guys are going to be drunk within like 30 seconds at
No, I
this
think
rate.
she's referring to us.
Oh,
No, that's us.
Break out the liquor, Sean.
hold on. I
Where's the
got you.
vodka?
I'll be right back.
It's the vodka.
Ah,
I'm
shit.
glad they take that.
Megan, you might have to come and pick me up. Let me see the phone number again.
I got
It is. There.
I got plenty of vodka left for shots.
Thanks, Megan.
I got Trip Sec for shots.
Please bring me my Toro's shot glass.
You know what?
please.
I have something else for shots. I got this.
Thank you, Megan. It's a good thing. It's a good thing we're at our apartment, so we don't have to drive anywhere.
Megan says if we bring up Omar, 2 shots.
Oh,
You just did.
Wait, does that mean 3 because he gave up 3 points?
Shut up. Making it worse. Already bad enough as it is.
Wait, remember Chris said we can't get sloppy on the show.
We'll wait till after. We'll do it after.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna just dive right into this. You can still bring the bottle over here.
We'll wait till after.
Okay.
We have to be professional. Remember, this is professional.
I forgot my sitting time. Oh, so embarrassing? Yeah, is that still too light of a word?
I mean, it is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to U.S. soccer. It's an embarrassment to the fans. And
Press that rant button and go for it, Justin. You're waiting and you're ready. Just
No,
do it.
it's-
Just do it. Do it.
I want to be eloquent about this.
No. You cannot take.
Hold on. Okay, just hear me out. And I had been saying this all week. This is probably the best talent we've ever had on a U.S. roster. Well, minus a few. John Brooks, Jeff Cameron, which is iffy.
Pulisic.
No, I mean the guys that didn't come out there.
Oh, gotcha.
But as a whole,
Fabian Johnson.
these guys that have been called up over the last 3 years are probably some of the best players U.S. soccer's ever had. Talent-wise. I'm going to leave it at that. Talent, yes. Actual play is absolute garbage. At some point, it becomes becomes less about tactics and your heart and drive on the pitch. And these guys have failed at every aspect of that. As Taylor said, and everybody on ESPN FC, Alexi, has said it. They are prima donnas. They are arrogant. They don't give a damn. I can say that.
Yeah, you're good.
And they don't. And you see, the only one that really does and had heart out there was Pulisic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll give Bobby Wood that too. I mean, the guy plays with his heart. And Tim Howard looked like he didn't want to be there. Josie at times looked like he wanted to be there. And I'm going to give props to Josie now, and I'm going to bring up his statement. I have yet to hear anything else from any other player that played and threw up that, whatever that was that they played the other night.
Yes.
Okay? He's the only one that's put out a statement.
Yes.
I don't expect it from Christian.
No,
he's not the leader of the team.
He's too young. He's the newbie.
I'm still expecting something from Clint. I'm still expecting something from Michael,
Man.
from Bradley.
Your girlfriend's YouTube comment is perfect.
Wood.
The last one. Kyle, just kidding.
No, not at all. I'm glad he retired. Or they forcefully retired him from U.S. soccer.
Beckerman,
Yeah.
Dreads, yeah.
Well, and I'm going to get into, we have a whole hour.
Okay, this is perfect. Brian Page's comment on
Yes.
YouTube is literally verbatim what I'm thinking. The play of the U.S. men's national team was like Michael Bradley's personality. Dry and bland. He didn't say those 2 words. I added that in, but that's exactly what he meant.
No, exactly.
Patrick, and this is what's stupid, and they brought this up too on ESPN FC yesterday.
Yep.
They put more effort into taking pictures on how shitty the track was around the stadium, filled with water, than actually giving a damn.
Yeah.
No,
That's where you realize that they're not putting any how can I say it? They're not giving Trinidad and Tobago the respect that they deserve.
no,
Because
let me throw that out there now before I forget. Anything we say tonight, I am not taking away from the amazing effort that Trinidad B team put out. They showed up with Giant and they beat them.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It was one, and let me give props to their grounds crew.
And it was a thorough beating, too.
Yes. 4 hours before that match, there were puddles throughout that pitch. Yes, was the pitch ideal? No, but it was still playable and it looked decent after seeing what it was 4 hours prior to that.
Absolutely.
You know? So, no, I'm not going to allow these players to sit here, the pitch was garbage.
So, no, you can't even say that. You play in CONCACAF. You have to expect these things, right? Eddie hit the nail on the head. Absolutely hit the nail on the head last week when he said, this is how it is in CONCACAF. This is what you come to expect. This is what you're going to play against. Grow a pair, grow up, and man up, and face it and deal with it. You know what? The U.S. Women's National Team deal with it, and guess what? They are productive. They have won World Cups. When was the last time the men's national team won anything of value besides a gold cup?
Yeah.
Never.
No, and I mean, we'll get into that too about.
Oh, I got my rant. You know it's coming.
The pay increase, because that's coming.
Oh, it better be coming. Now, the thing is, what sucks is where is that money now going to come from? Because you made $9 million last year or 4 years ago on the World Cup by making it into the round of 16.
That's not including.
You're completely lost it this year.
That's not including the money that we got from Copa America.
And we lost out on Olympic money. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's just... It's coming, I promise. Not yet.
And that's
By the way,
really my rant.
By the way, you can call in and rant with us. 281-849-7335. The number again is 281-849-7335. We look forward to your
Josh
phone
brought up
calls.
a good point. I want to say it was Belgium. Somebody correct me on that. Belgium and Bosnia played.
Yes, it was Belgium.
Was it the same day?
On a cow pasture?
Yes.
They not technically, but it was a cow pasture.
Yeah. I didn't
see
see
Belgium
And they still
crying.
won.
But I will say Belgium did lose 2 of their players due to that match. I want to say one of them was actually a pretty serious injury. But they still played. They didn't make excuses. They went out there. They did their business. Came home.
Yeah. Look, you're gonna play in places that you don't want to play in. You're gonna play against teams that you don't want to play in. You're gonna play against tactics that you don't want to play against. You're gonna play against players that play dirty and play underhanded. Guess what? When you're in CONCACAF, that's what you just expect that it's gonna be like. Mm-hmm. Grow up. You're supposed to be the best of the best in this region. Right now, Mexico are our overlords when it comes to soccer right now, in men's soccer. That hurts me to my core to say that. 4 years ago, it was the other way around. In 4 years, we have completely lost it. Completely.
Yeah. So, to get a little bit into the match. Yeah.
Why? Why do you do this to me?
Well, I mean,
yeah, it has to happen. I know.
It does have to happen, and it was a perfect storm. Taylor Tolman brought it up. There were something like 20 different scenarios that could have played out. The one that would have officially eliminated us did.
Yeah.
So, in case you didn't know, we were eliminated from 2018 World Cup contention.
If you didn't know and you're listening to this podcast, how did you find us, and can you send us an email? thepeel2005@gmail.com. Thank you.
Playing in a 10,000-seat stadium, Alto Bolton Stadium in Cova, Trinidad. Beautiful night, 80 degrees. Everything should have went in U.S.'s favor. You're playing Trinidad. You're playing their B team. They have nothing to play for. Mm-hmm. Starting, you had Tim Howard in net. DeAndre Yedlin, Omar Gonzalez, Matt Beasler, and Jorge Villafana is your back line. Michael Bradley.
Kellen Acosta.
He subbed on, didn't he? He didn't start the match.
No. Michael Bradley, Paul Areola, Christian Pulisic, Darlington Nagby as your mids. And then you have Bobby Wood and Josie Altidore up top. On paper, decent lineup. Same lineup to beat Panama. Destroyed
5-0, by the way.
Yes. Destroyed Panama.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that 4 days of rest isn't enough.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, and Josh brings up a good point too. That stadium was empty. It wasn't like they were coming into a hostile environment in terms of the crowd or anything like that. Heck, there was a larger U.S. supporters contingency there than there were Trinidad and Tobago fans.
Yeah. Megan, get your Twitter fingers ready. Tweet out to some of your AO people and see if there's a rough number and how many came out to that match.
It looked on TV. It looked about 150, 200, which was pretty solid considering.
Yeah, Brian will get into why or where this press conference for Arena is. But shots on goal, 15-11, U.S.'s favor. Or no, shots total. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Shots on goal, 6-5, U.S. Saves, 3-5, Trinidad. Corner kicks, 5-2, U.S. Fouls, 18-11, U.S. And we were equal on all sides.
3.
But if you look at the first 3 stats, the hell's wrong with that picture?
They didn't take advantage of the opportunities that they had.
Missed shots, which has been one of the worst things I've seen this whole qualifying round. They're in all the hex. Our shots were horrible. Horrible.
Go for it.
No, I don't even
Why are you
I don't have
waiting?
like a rant. I'm just hurt more than anything else.
But you want to rant, so just rant. I mean, trust me, once you start going, you'll get into a groove, and we'll just all kick back and let you go.
Well, I can't because we will get kicked off the radio and not even have our full first show on.
TMZ. You know what? What we'll do is we'll record it after.
And then add it. I'll just add all that.
Yeah,
all the words.
we'll just upload it to YouTube. It doesn't have to end up on the radio.
Edson, what do you got? I know you want to say something. Oh, wait, this is in Mexico. I'm joking.
By the way, okay, I just got to throw this out there just so you guys can just completely rip Edson a new one. The dude came out of his room after he got home and changed shirts with a freaking Mexico shirt on. We sent
It's
him
a
back.
jacket.
Okay, whatever. Give me a break, brother. He came out wearing Mexico gear. I was like, no. You get back in that room and you change right now.
To be fair, I also have a USA jersey.
And to be fair to Edson, he does have family in Mexico, so it's he's got heritage there. It's not like the Patriots where he's just supporting them because they're a bandwagon best team out there. At least he has a legitimate reason to support. Mexico.
Yeah, and I actually have a cousin that's in Tigres' youth squad. So.
And just Jesus, just so you know, I do completely agree with you. This problem started way before the TNT game, and is something that we'll get into here in just a few minutes. When I go on my rant, believe me, I'm going to hit everything as much as I can remember as I'm going through it, and I will go on a rant.
Well, do you want to save your rant for... Well, no, we're doing 20-minute segments. That's right. My fault.
How much time we got?
We got about... I can't do math. Yeah, we got about 16 minutes.
16 minutes?
Wow.
Oh,
So
damn.
I was watching
No,
I was watching
sorry.
the game here, and honestly, I thought
Okay,
I was expecting okay, you don't have to do much. You just can't lose, and seeing the Trinidad and Tobago's lineup, the fact that Mexico, even though this Trinidad and Tobago were winning 1-0 in Mexico, they just fell apart at the end, and they ended up losing 3-1.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but Jesus, since he was kind of supposed to be on today, and he kind of is,
Yeah.
does say recent tournaments missed by the United States men's team.
Yeah.
2018 World Cup, 2017 Confederations Cup, 2016 Olympics, 2015 Gold Cup Final, 2013 U17 World Cup, 2012 Olympics, 2011 U20s World Cup.
So before you continue, you said something that, and I mentioned this to you before, and I've mentioned it to multiple people. I said that this was the result that was going to happen.
Yeah, we both did.
We predicted this.
Yeah.
And I predicted this with a fervor, saying I was very certain this is how it was going to go.
It was one of those.
You saw it coming.
We didn't want to admit it, but you knew there was something in the air where you were going to lose a match that you shouldn't have lost.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I thought it was going to be Panama, and I thought we would draw Trinidad and Tobago. I didn't think that we would wall it. I mean, I'm not going there yet. I'm not. But I'm just saying that the writing, and somebody said it in the chat, the writing was on the wall. It was absolutely clear that this was a very high possibility. And considering there was only one circumstance that would actually get us in this situation, and it happened, just goes to show you that the team did not give a damn going into this match.
And I'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah, no, we are all going to talk about that. Trust me. And everybody's been talking about it.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I think pisses me off more than anything is Bruce Arena's comments after the match. Coming out and saying we don't need to do anything different. We did everything right, and it's just a small knock on us. Are you kidding me?
Does he really not think that he's going to lose his job? I mean, Jurgen lost his job on the airplane home. Yeah. Why hasn't there still been? And I want to save this for the next segment. The why.
Yeah.
And what needs to happen.
Here's the thing, though. My question is, maybe he doesn't care because he probably has some other job waiting for him to.
Yeah, it's called the LA Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he doesn't care if he gets fired from the U.S. national team.
Well, he doesn't because Siggy has that job. Siggy took over halfway through the season.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to fire him, and Bruce Arena will be announced as LA Galaxy's coach by the beginning of next season.
I hope so. You know why? Because LA Galaxy are a trash fire right now.
Good.
And they will be
They're made
continue
for
to
each
be
other.
that way.
Yes, which I need to bring that up. Galati's quote is a lot worse, and I'll read that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in the next segment. But the one thing that, and I said that was the one thing that really irked me, and it did. The one thing that got to me watching this match is I saw nothing from the U.S. It wasn't that they were, putting good efforts in or anything like that. I saw a team that frankly gave up. A team that didn't give a damn. I saw players that frankly, they would have been better off on the bench, not even playing. I saw players that felt like they were entitled to play this match. I saw players that, frankly, and Alexi Lawless hit the nail on the head, prima donna players right now. Mm-hmm. And, there needs to be some sort of change that happens, and it's going to happen with the players. There has to be accountability to the players. Everybody has come out, and there have been a few that have called out the players. Everybody's going after Bruce Arena. Everybody's going after Galati with fair reason and valid reasons. However, we are completely ignoring, completely missing the point. These players need to be held as much accountable, if not more, for these results, because now you've had it happen with two different coaches. Now you've had it happen with two different regimes. Galati, he's been the commonality factor between both of them, but the players have been as well. There have been so many players that have seen both of these runs and have had blatantly terrible games, but continue to be called up. I'm sorry, it's time to move on. There are plenty of younger players. We'll get to this in a little bit too. There is a guy by the name of Ramirez up in Minnesota that absolutely deserves a call-up. Why not now? On that note, are we good?
Yeah, we still got 3 minutes.
Damn it. So that would be a perfect segue into the break.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
basically what I was saying, the results were destiny was in our favor. All you had to do was not lose against Trinidad. We had seen that Trinidad, although they, like I said before, although they were winning 1-0 against Mexico, they completely broke apart, ended up losing 3-1 against Mexico. So they weren't playing well. Their motivation was on the floor, and then just seeing how the lack of caring, the lack of hustle. Omar Gonzalez doing stupid mistakes.
I don't know why he stuck his foot out like that.
Okay, not only that, but you made a sub bringing on a defensive midfielder later in the match. Why don't you pull Omar Gonzalez instead? The guy has been terrible. He's been terrible for months. He's been terrible for years. His knee injury has made him a completely different player. Why does he consistently get called up? It is exactly the same thing I was just talking about. Players that have no business being called up repeatedly over and over. He is one of them. Wando didn't play at least.
I know.
Omar started the match with Jeff Cameron on the freaking bench.
We got about a minute till we go on break.
That button is getting really close.
I just wanted to go ahead and read off the final standings for the Hex. Mexico with 21 points, they advance, they win the group.
Yeah.
Costa Rica with 16 points.
Deservedly so got second.
Panama with 13 points.
Deservedly so.
Honestly, to me, got
sneaking
third.
in there and getting the last playoff spot.
And you know what? Here's what
beat
sucks.
the snot out of Mexico.
Here's what sucks. Mexico only needed to come out and draw that freaking match. That's it. They could have done us a favor. You know what? It seems like they owed us one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I said it, and I'm glad they didn't because
we didn't deserve it.
Well, not only that, we needed the light shined on this issue. If they had come out and drawn, we would have been qualified for the World Cup. Nothing would have changed.
And in fifth place, our wonderful United States men's national team with
And in
12
sixth?
points. Sixth place, Trinidad and Tobago.
Really, they should have been in fifth, and we should have been in sixth. To be totally honest with you,
totally agree.
Yeah, if
The
it
way
wasn't
we
for
played.
if it wasn't for the Panama match, I think they actually probably come very close to getting to us.
Brian, we'll get into that in a segment or two. So when we get back, we will talk about
Galati's press conference.
We'll talk about Galati. We'll talk about Bruce Arena.
Yes.
Where the team stands.
Yes.
What needs to happen.
Direction.
Yes. As soccer as a whole, or U.S. soccer as a whole. After that segment, I guess we'll do players that should come and go.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's the topic.
Well, at some point, the rant button has to be pressed.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's next segment. Maybe that's exactly when it is.
Okay.
All right, guys.
where can
Thank
they
you
find
for
us, Sean?
listening to The Peel. We're on KTXF DB The Real this week. You can listen to us via the TuneIn app and just pull up KTXF DB The Real. You can also listen to us live on YouTube, which most of you are. We appreciate that. Or you can listen to us later on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music.
What's up, y'all? I'm DeMarcus Beasley, and you're listening to The Peel.
We're back.
That's creepy. Not as creepy as U.S. not making a World Cup.
I don't know if that's creepy and just, I don't know. I'm afraid of balada.
Okay, so to get right back into this.
You know what? We can blame it on Sepp Blatter.
Sepp Blatter? Oh, well, real quick. Welcome back to The Peel. Where can they find us?
They can find us on Twitter at ThePeel05. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/ThePeel2005. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/ a whole bunch of letters that I don't know off the top of my head because it's a bunch of strings, but we'll tweet it out later. And yeah, that's where you can find us.
You can change it. You can change it to.
Yeah, you can add your own little YouTube URL thing, but we don't need to do that yet.
So to get right back into it, this is Galati's statement after they lost to Trinidad and Tobago.
You really want to get me mad, don't you?
Galati, you don't make wholesale changes on the ball being 2 inches wide or 2 inches in, he said.
Yeah, he knows all about inches, doesn't he?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's a win or a loss in its entirety.
Come on, I'm feeling it.
That is soccer. Get the hell out of here with that, okay? That is soccer.
Come on with it. I can feel it.
No,
it's on the edge of your tongue.
My mind is still blown on why he would say something like that.
So
2 inches in or not. That's soccer.
It's a total political move. It is a total political move. He's trying to do whatever he can to try to control the message to say, oh, you know what, it's not that big of a deal. We only missed by a few inches here. We missed by a few inches there. They only scored by a few inches here. By the way, that second goal from, I don't even remember his name, was the
Jones.
most majestic goal I have
Dude,
seen.
he hit that from 35 yards out.
And it was perfect.
And there was nothing. And on
Tim
that-
Howard on neither goal had nothing he could
No,
do.
he couldn't have.
He looked great otherwise, but that goal should be nominated for the goal of the year by FIFA.
Oh, for next year.
FIFA. Ooh, that's deep.
It's deep, isn't it? It's about as deep as the U.S. have dug themselves a hole in. Ooh. Deeper than their grave that they currently are lying in. Anyways, but it's a political move. It's politics at its finest, which is terrible to say, but it's the truth. He knows that he's got an election campaign coming up where he needs to get reelected if he wants to stick with U.S. soccer. And, he's the one who brought in Bruce Arena. He's the one who fired Jurgen Klinsmann. I just don't have the words to really put this in context for people that wouldn't necessarily understand. This is the equivalent of, a team. This is the equivalent of the Cleveland Browns. That puts it in context for most people. Most people know how bad the Cleveland Browns are and have been for a very long time.
Sorry, Carson.
There's no sorry. No. Carson, if you're a fan of the Cleveland, hey, at least he's not a bandwagon fan. He's willing to stick with his team when they get bad, which is forever. But, what I'm really trying to say here, I guess, is it's political. It shouldn't surprise any of us that he would come out and say something like that. It shouldn't surprise us that Bruce Arena would come out and say something like that. It shouldn't. However, it does. And it does because it shows a lack of connection and engagement with the fan base at large. And, the fan base are the ones that drive U.S. soccer. I don't care what you say about the sponsors being the driver. I don't care what you say about the executive committee of U.S. soccer being the ones that drive soccer. It's not true. Soccer in America is driven at every level, really and truly, by the fans.
So with that being said, with some of the comments on there, and I actually thought about this. Do you think that not showing up to the match helps or hurts the progress? Now, yes, we got knocked out of World Cup contention. But as a whole, there has been progress of the growth of soccer in this country.
The better question is, does it even matter?
I think it does matter.
If all they care about is the money hitting them where it really hurts in their pockets,
you say
in
it
theory,
matters.
What about the fans, though?
No, but you say that. And when was the last? I mean, we've seen the U.S., and this goes well beyond the U.S. This goes to tournament organizers and things like that. Anytime there's been a venue, and the last 2 to 3 years are perfect examples. The prices for U.S. tickets for U.S. men's soccer have skyrocketed.
So when I went to my very first match, U.S. versus Mexico, I think I paid $35-$40 when it was a friendly in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome.
Yep, I went to that match, by the way.
Nice.
It was a great match.
The last match that Megan and I went to, which was in Dallas at Jerry World. Mm-hmm. Megan, what did we pay for that? $65 a ticket?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tons of air pollution. On a side note, this just came up from mirror.co.uk.
The Daily Mirror, let's clarify that.
My name is Manoj.
Apparently, Bruce Arena has absolutely no interest in coaching the U.S. men's national team.
If you have wealth, it's a duty to help those who are less privileged.
Great. Good. Leave. Bye.
Now, you're taking too long.
That's 8 years away.
Yes. Let me also bring that up.
No, that's only 5 years away. Feels like 8 years.
Galati wasted no time firing Jurgen Klinsmann. And here's a question I want to pose to you guys after this. Okay, he fired him on the airplane home. They had a press conference the next day. Why are we still waiting for a press conference? Now, with that being said, tomorrow, right around the time, this is the only reason I know, Jason Davis, who, if you don't know who he is, he has a United States of Soccer on XM Radio from 10 to 12 our time.
Your audio is playing.
What?
That's what Andres says.
Oh, I know why. Okay, it's not playing
failed.
Anymore. It's not playing anymore.
It's always Justin's fault.
No, I know what it was when I clicked on the mirror.
Even when the U.S. men's national team loses to Trinidad and Tobago in Trinidad and Tobago, it's Justin's fault.
It wasn't Galati. It wasn't Arena.
There was a video playing on the mirror's website. Unless you mute the video ASAP, it plays to the screen.
Yeah. Continue.
What was I saying?
You were talking about the press conference.
Yes.
Conference call
So
tomorrow.
it will be.
Klinsmann.
There's a conference call.
Klinsmann. No, he's not talking about Klinsmann.
No, he was talking about like why are we waiting?
Yeah, he's getting there.
Sunil Gulati is having a
Thank you, Josh.
conference call tomorrow, about 10 to 12 our time. I don't know if the time's actually set in stone, but it's around that time.
It is. They've released it as a media release, and so it is that time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So 12.
At least
11,
that's
10?
what I've been told. It's a media release. So
It's
yes.
10, 11, or 12.
Well, it's
Or
12
that
o'clock
timeframe.
Eastern, 11 Central, 10
Well, no.
o'clock Mountain Time,
Okay, because
9 o'clock
the last I
Pacific.
saw, I didn't see an actual time.
No, that's what I've been told.
Okay.
Now, that could be wrong. I
Are
think
they- are
probably...
Are they doing a Comcast window
Jesus,
there?
do you know what time it is? If you do, can you please chat that?
Are they
time?
doing a Comcast window? Where
Why you? I don't know all the. I'm getting this all secondhand information, brother. Come on.
We'll fire Bruce Arena within a 5-hour window.
And Patrick, and going back to the ticket prices real quick, Patrick said the prices in Orlando were crazy. It was, his mother wanted to go until she saw the prices, and they were more than $150 per ticket. And
Bleeping ridiculous.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Is it really going to affect them when we're talking they're raising prices to $150 a pop anyways? At this point, how many people are really going to U.S. soccer matches at that price other than your American Outlaws? How frequently are we seeing...
Even then, they're starting to have to raise their prices because U.S. soccer's starting to raise their
Yeah,
prices.
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to. Is that I'm not sure really and truly boycotting the matches is really the way to protest this, the way to get your voice out there, the way to be heard.
Brian, we are going to get into that.
Wow.
Probably actually now.
What? You took the words right out of Justin's mouth, actually.
So, we're talking about where to go from here. And I do want to bring up, and I guess I closed it.
Fail.
Bruce Arena also said that this is just a small blemish on U.S. soccer. And you can't make wholesale changes. Yeah, you can. If you look at every other federation in the world, this happens, it changes from the top down.
Speaking of Germany.
Prime example, and this is going to get into pay to play. This is going to get into the whole system.
Das Reboot.
Germany misses was it 90 World Cup?
No,
It was the Euros. It was the
Euros.
Euros. Yeah,
I thought
they
it was
didn't
90 World
qualify.
Cup.
They didn't qualify for the Euros.
Okay, so they don't qualify for the Euros, and over there, that's a big deal. They don't qualify. They've cleaned house. They started from the top and worked their way all the way down to the youth academies. And correct me if I'm wrong, maybe somebody else has the info on this, but they don't pay to play, I don't think, in Germany.
No.
Did they prior to that?
No.
No.
It was a different system over there to begin with.
Okay, well, either way. Here, it's the same thing. So I made a comment on the closed AO Facebook group yesterday, and somebody had brought in Das Reboot, the book, and it has quotes in there from Jurgen and stuff like that. And I said everybody in AO should buy 2 of those books, send one to the legal to the federation, and then read the other one so we're both on the same page on what we expect. So they need to do that. You need to fire from the top down. And honestly, the only 2 people that are not players that deserve a job is Todd Ramos and John Hackworth. And this is going to get into... Sean and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. And...
Man, I look bald on the stream. I'm sorry.
I'm getting there. It's all right.
That light, man, it's just a terrible spot. I'm bald. I'm not that bald, though.
So, yeah, but Brian, this is where that comment, where they don't play very many other sports, this is where this comes into play, okay? You have to get rid of pay to play, number one. I know they don't want to because they're lining their pockets with that money.
Oh.
But there's a ton of money going in that. And you posted something the other day. What was it, like $4,000 to put your kid in a decent academy?
And that was for under 8s to under 10s.
Yes,
which
is ridiculous. Okay.
For higher than that, or for older than that, the price went much
Shut up,
higher.
Andres.
So that honestly, that is going to be the pay to play. That's a podcast in its own. That's a show in its own.
Off season, we've talked about it.
Yes. So we're going to have a roundtable about that. But Todd Ramos,
Damn,
and John
I hate
Hackworth.
you guys.
If you look at the guys that are coming up,
Yeah.
the Josh Sargents, the Palmer Browns,
Yes.
the other kids,
Kevin Walker Peters.
exactly.
Yes.
You just keep naming them off.
Yes.
These guys, they play under tab now.
Yeah.
Bring them up now. They're going to have friendlies during this next World Cup. You're going to play Chile. You're going to play Netherlands. You're going to play all the other teams that are eliminated. The top teams. All right? No, I don't want an NIT.
me finish this real quick.
Yeah.
God, please not a He Believes Cup.
No. Oh God, no. Oh God, no.
That's what we're talking about doing, actually.
Well, I think it'd be good in one sense, and you only play the young guys.
Yeah.
You call Dempsey up, I'm gonna punch you in the balls.
Well, they're going to because they have to generate the money for the
You
tournament.
call
somehow.
Howard up, I'm punching you in the balls twice. Okay?
He's still better than Guzan.
You call Omar, I'm gonna shoot you in the balls.
Damn, dude.
Yes. Okay. So that's how this works. But
All that without a rant.
you bring these guys up now.
Yeah.
You let them play in these friendlies under Tab. They've already played with him. They're already comfortable with him. They already know his system. And if he doesn't necessarily know the senior level of coaching, get him an assistant that does. All right?
Shut up, Josh. He says, well, Palmer Brown is currently training under Omar.
Too
Josh,
soon.
You've ruined him. You've ruined him.
So, on top of that,
It's so true, though, but it's so bad.
you move John Hackworth up to Tab's current spot.
Yeah, Homer. Uh-huh.
He's shut up.
Uh-huh.
I wanted him gone from the Union, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
he just wasn't fitting there.
Yeah, but he wants him at the U.S. men's national team.
Yes,
I'll
because
let
he's-
you figure that one out, people at home.
Because he's good at the youth level.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. So he's currently, right now, his U17 squad has advanced to the next knockout round of
Germany,
the U17 World Cup.
Germany did make it to the Euros. They just bombed out of the group stage, and that's what caused their rebuild.
Okay. But you move these guys
It's like
up.
4
and like I
shots,
was
Megan. I
telling
don't know
him,
what you're talking about.
like I was telling him, I think it's easier to find a coach for the younger players than it is as these players get older. Because the talent, the competition, it's a different level.
So let me piggyback on that.
Okay.
It's kind of the same way now with MLS, right? It's easier to find a
Just like
coach
Rover.
for the youth programs, for your USL youth programs for the that are affiliated with MLS, and or your actual MLS clubs, whatever it may be. It's easier to find a youth coach for those teams and then bring them up into the senior level than it is to start them at the senior level from somewhere else. It really is, and that's what you're saying. That's becoming the
Yeah.
path that we're seeing.
But, I mean, with these young guys we have, I think it fits. And now, this is probably where I'll get backlash. But to me, it makes sense. I don't want to see Jurgen as a coach. I don't. I don't want to see Bruce ever as a coach. Now, granted, I don't want Bruce to step foot in the Federation's office ever again. But
You're assuming he's going to be fired.
let's hope tomorrow. I do honestly think from a technical director standpoint, you bring Jurgen on in that sole position, and that's it. He has no coaching calls. All he has is essentially scouting.
Yeah.
Scouting the youth, because he did a decent job. He found Aaron Johansson, Julian Green,
He found Jermaine Jones.
which, as much as I hate Jermaine Jones prior to 3-4 years ago was decent. He was a pretty good player. Now, not so much. I'd rather see him in a Mexico kit fall on his face. But
Oh, that comment he made. Oh, Jermaine Jones, you were so oblivious to the
well,
situation.
that's because he's stroking Jurgen's back.
Oh, he's stroking something other than his back.
But that's my personal take. That's what I think should happen. And I know Sean has his own opinion.
Oh, I mean,
But where do you want to see this from a administration or coaching standpoint? Not players, so that's next segment.
here's my problem, right? This is not going to be an overnight fix. This is not going to be a 1 year fix, a 2 year fix, a 3 year fix, a single cycle fix. This is not going to be a 2 cycle fix, in my opinion. This is a 10-year fix. This is a systemic issue that has been going on for well into the last decade, if not longer. We've seen it with the players before this group. They still managed to have a couple of good wins, but they still struggled against certain teams. What?
Something Brian said. It popped up on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to bring this up.
Hurry.
So this does have to do with the pay to play, because let's take Houston as an example. In your Latin areas, these kids can't, and especially American-born ones, they can't afford to play in a system that is a feeder to U.S. soccer. No. They can't. So that's where the pay to play is an issue.
Here's the thing, and I want to bring up an anecdote, and to those who follow me on Twitter, I've mentioned it a couple of times. When I was a kid, my uncle had a soccer team, Deportivo Pegaso, and it was all just kids from the barrio. It was and things like that. They would go on to these tournaments, that were sponsored by Club Atlas, by Border Bandits, by RGV Sun Devils, which are the three top private developmental academies in their time in the RGV. They would go and beat them. And with players who aren't playing, aren't paying to play, who were from the poorest parts of Mission, Texas, and they would go and they beat these players who have been in that academy for I don't know how many years, and that got under the skins of those directors, the directors of those
over there.
But that's the whole point of what I've been saying. Why pay to play needs to disappear from U.S. youth, because the best players aren't the. I'm sorry, it's going to sound bad, but they aren't the rich kids that they just drop them off to the academy just because the parents don't want them at the house.
Kristen Pulisic begs to differ with you.
But this is your argument with U.S. soccer. When you pay to play, especially the kind of money that you had found, your talent pool is this big. You eliminate that or lessen that to where it's affordable, your talent pool becomes this big. Look at Germany. Look at South America. Look at Europe as a whole. But their talent pools are huge.
There's no competition when it comes to other sports. That's your difference. So this is why removing pay to play is going to be a major hindrance overall. You can't start there. You have to end there. I'm not saying that's not the direction we need to go.
Okay,
Hold on. Let me finish, Justin. I'm going to come over there and slap you, son. Damn, I'm like really popping.
Ay, tiro, Carlitos.
Ay, ay, ay. The reason I say this, and Seth had tweeted this out, and it's very pointed to the point. If you look at what do players in soccer at the youth level have to look forward to as the highest they can go, what is the current pipeline right now? MLS is really what you're vying for, right? That's what you're really hoping for. That's what you're hoping for.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got your Pulisic over there, but that's what, 1 in a million, 1 in a billion? I mean, your chances are slim. So we're looking at the highest that they're, the average that they're going to make is $60,000 a year. That doesn't cover them playing soccer in college. So
that's another issue.
So what you're talking about right now, really, when you're talking pay to play, is these players are trying to get better so that they can play in college so that they can cover their college costs.
Yes.
So how do we address that? One, we need a better system other than college. It sucks when it comes to soccer. It is killing the youth development system in its entirety. We need academies to step up and find ways to find more talent in the areas that don't make as much money, offer more scholarships. U.S. probably needs to put a little more money from the soccer side into the academies to let them use more scholarships. Maybe USSF needs to take on a bit of initiative there. Maybe they need to hire some scouts to actually go into those poorer neighborhoods, maybe sponsor some of their own tournaments in these poorer neighborhoods that people don't have to pay for, to find those talented kids, to get them into the proper academies where they can finally develop, finally make their way through. But the reason I say this is going to take more than 10 years is because even if you find those players, the highest they can achieve right now in their minds, in their parents' minds, is going to be MLS. Let me finish. I'm almost done.
It's just the MLS topic, which is a good thing.
I know, we'll come back to it. But if you have these players come through, you have these players go on to Europe, go on to become bigger and better players, become maybe not the next Messi, but maybe they become the next Pulisic. Maybe they start making a few million, and you see that as a viable option for some of these kids. Guess what? Parents are more likely to start pushing their kids towards soccer again because now there's a viable pipeline there. Right now, there's nothing. It is completely disconnected. It is completely a farce.
So when we get back from break, we'll have the last 15 minutes of the show. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about players to come in. We'll talk about MLS where MLS stands in all this, and it's actually a positive. And I'm going to denounce all the people, or I'm going to get on all the people that said it's garbage.
I got one thing I want to say before you're done. Hashtag Patrick Walls for coach.
I'm okay with that.
I'm starting that trend right now, Patrick. Hashtag Patrick Walls for
Sean,
coach.
Where can they find us?
You can find us at. You can find us on YouTube. Or The Peel on YouTube. You can search The Peel and you'll find us. You can also find us on KTXF DB The Real. We are The Peel on The Real, and you can find us via the TuneIn app on KTXF DB The Real. And then you're listening to us on SoundCloud or iTunes or Google Play Music after.
All right.
This is Jaleel Nibaba, and you're listening to The Peel.
We're back again.
We are back. We are the Peel.
Go ahead. You want to read a statement thing?
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So
we'll talk later.
We're
It's fine.
continuing our U.S. soccer segment.
Segment. This is a show about
Yeah.
U.S. soccer with a little bit of Dynamo sprinkled in.
After the 2-1 loss to
That wasn't what it
Trinidad
looked like.
and the 2018 World Cup elimination. So I did want to bring up, because one thing that had bothered me is one of the first things these players should have done when they got back to U.S. soil is apologize to the fans. And Erin, who's the vice president of AO Houston, she's been to 75-plus matches over the last however many years.
Yep.
You know how pissed I'd be with all the money, the
money,
match
the
tickets,
time,
the
the effort.
hotels,
Yeah.
the time off work,
Yeah.
the rentals,
The travel.
everything,
Yeah.
the food, the drinks, the everything.
It's the time. That is the worst. The time sink.
Yes.
I mean, it's a full-time job
So
to do that stuff.
They owe our fans an apology for what they pulled. Now,
Yep.
if they would have actually shown up and got beat, it'd be a completely different story.
Yeah.
But they didn't show up.
There
so
was
that's
no
the problem.
effort. There was no effort.
So, one of the only players I've seen a statement from is Josie Altidore. And this is why he gets kind of a pass. Blame's still on him, but he gets a pass. To the U.S. men's national team fans and those supporting the sport in our country, I am so sorry we let you down this time around. You have all supported this team/program like no other, and it pains us all that we didn't qualify. The worst part of this is not being able to see you all in Russia, enjoying the tournament and celebrating the continued growth of soccer in this country. However, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and this team/program will come back better and more determined than ever. To do that, we have to be honest, truthful, and work harder than ever to improve in every aspect. I wanted to thank you all so much for your support through this entire qualifying campaign, and it is now an incredibly difficult period. We need you now more than ever to help continue to grow the game at the grassroots levels across this country. Please keep supporting and playing the beautiful game. The best days for soccer in this country are still to come, and we have to keep working hard and believing ourselves and never give up. Josie.
Josie for president.
I have to say, I mean, it was a much-needed statement, and I'm glad Josie did it, but I'm still trying to figure out where the hell the rest of the players are.
Agreed. Megan is making the point, just so you know, on the YouTube chat, that it doesn't matter how many games you've been to, that everybody's paid a lot of money. He wasn't making that as the point that, she's been to the most games, so therefore she has the most to gripe about. It's just she's spent so much money, she's spent so much time, there's so much effort involved with this, so much, just so much involved with it. Anybody who's been to a U.S. game deserves an apology. Anybody who follows the U.S. team on whether it be Twitter, Facebook, watches the games on TV, whatever it may be, if you're a supporter of the of U.S. men's national team, if you buy the merchandise, whatever it is, whatever level you follow them at, you should get an apology just like everybody else, just like the true quote-unquote diehards, whatever it may be. You deserve an apology because at the end of the day, the team showed nothing. They held everything back. They put nothing on that pitch. They showed nothing on the field. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I needed to chime in on that. I needed to get that out there.
So, with that, we'll talk MLS real quick. We got about 5 minutes left before we close this thing out.
Okay.
We'll talk about MLS, and then we'll talk about real quick players that we want to see. Show, dude, we got 10 minutes left. We're on for 2 hours.
That doesn't. We can. We're going to continue going.
I don't want to go over.
Well, you
I
can
edit
leave.
this.
You can leave.
Anyway,
you have your laptop right here. Just edit here.
So, with that being said,
all right, hold on. Wait. I'm going to leave it up to you guys in the YouTube chat. Do we go past 2 hours or do we stop at 2 hours? You guys have the power to vote.
# make it 3.
By the way, Edson and I are at our apartment, so we can go 4 hours. We don't really care. We're here either way. Justin's the sucker that's got to sit here and go home.
All right, so everybody was trying to get on MLS, and that MLS was the issue that the U.S. men's national team was beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes and no. MLS has done nothing but improve CONCACAF. Honduras is the prime example of this. Where was Honduras before MLS started getting big and bringing international players in? Guess what? Elise and Kyoto are Honduras' best players.
Yeah.
Guess where Honduras is and the U.S. isn't? Guess where Panama is and the U.S. isn't?
Absolutely.
Guess where Costa Rica is and the U.S.
Well, because Costa Rica does have a couple of players in Europe.
By the way, I just want to throw this out there. Remember who told you that Costa Rica was a better team than most people were giving them credit for?
Well,
I just want that to be said.
But
But the issue is,
Everybody was like, no, Costa Rica's not that great.
But the
They're
issue
okay,
is,
but they're not that
you
great.
can't dog on MLS.
No, it's not MLS. It's not MLS.
No, it's not.
Here's the thing though, and I've realized this in this last couple of games. Here we know that the thing that's equal between U.S. and these national teams is a lot of these players, a lot of their star players, play in the MLS.
Yeah.
The difference is the attitude. People or the players that come from these Central American countries, their leagues aren't very well developed. They have the hunger to become better, to become to the national team. So they have that hunger to show that to their national team that they can give them something to be happy about.
Yeah.
And you have our U.S. players. There are players that were in Europe and they're like, oh, I'm just going to take the easy way. I'll just come back to the United States for the money. So they don't care. Their mentality, they lost that hunger because they already got what they wanted, was to play in Europe, even if though it was one season or things like that. So now they come here and they don't have that same hunger. They don't have that same passion. It's showing up in these games for the national team. And a lot of people might not give that enough credit the how mentality works in the game of soccer, but it does.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel that these even though it pains me to admit it, since I'm a huge MLS fan, that's why I kind of understand why Mexican fans were mad, because Giovanni Dos Santos and Carlos Vela and Jonathan Dos Santos decided to come to the MLS. But it's the same thing going on with Michael Bradley and all these other players who are up there in Europe, and they're just here, and they're the ones that are being lazy. Especially Michael Bradley. He's the captain. He's the one that should lead the charge pretty much, and he's pretty much the biggest culprit of not putting in the effort that should be put as a U.S. national team player, much less a captain.
So we'll spend a couple more minutes because I do have something else I want to get to. We'll just do 3 players. 3 players that definitely go. 3 players that come.
Okay, I want to say something.
Okay.
First.
Okay.
Because he hit on this, and I've got to, with everything going on in this country right now, whether it be natural disasters, hurricanes, whether it be stuff going on in Puerto Rico in relation to the hurricanes, whether it be political, whether it be the anthem, whatever it is, for a U.S. team to come out and play with no heart, play with no conviction, shows me that not only do they not care, they don't give a damn about the fans. They don't give a damn about the country. They don't give a damn about the colors. They're out there playing for themselves, and that is it. Mm-hmm. As a coach, it is your responsibility to make them understand who they play for.
Yeah, but if the coach has that same mentality, then what?
That's my point. That's my point. It really is. That's my point. My point is that this could have been a time for the country to unite around something. It could have been a great moment. It would have been a wonderful moment. Sure, we would have kind of snuck in, whatever, okay. But going to a World Cup is a big deal. You can't treat it after the fact like it wasn't a big deal. And that is where the U.S. Soccer Federation has fallen short and has failed.
And it's worse when you start seeing like a lot of NBA teams, a lot of NFL teams were tweeting support for the U.S. national team to get those 3 points and get qualify to Russia.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. And it frustrates me because I see a team that had so much promise and so much potential, had the opportunity to do something absolutely amazing, to unite a country at a time when it needed to be united, to unite a fan base at a time when it needs to be united, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And instead they fell short, and instead they try to wash it under the rug like it's not a big deal at the highest levels. That is a complete disconnection with the fan base. That's a complete disconnection with the country. That's a complete disconnection with what is going on right now. And that is where I find myself most frustrated. I know we've got a call, and I'm pretty sure that's Josh.
It is Josh. So we'll get him on.
Hey, Josh.
What's up, Josh?
Josh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Whoa.
Now that works.
Can you try again for me, please, Josh?
Hello?
Hey.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Holy crap, Justin. Oh, boy.
Good.
Hashtag win, Justin.
First off, happy birthday, Sean.
Thank you, Josh.
I owe you beer next week.
Yeah.
No, man, definitely going to Edson's points. We talked about this last night at the game, and I think a lot of these players coming over from overseas, Michael Bradley, Josie Altador, all those guys coming to MLS, they don't have the heart. They did sell out.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they did sell out. Because if you look at the team going into the 2014 World Cup, they were way more prepared for the World Cup.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right.
Giving Belgium hell, giving Belgium hell.
Let me ask you a question,
now
Josh.
These guys struggle against Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question, Josh. Are you telling me now, based on what you just said, because the way you worded it kind of lends this way, Klinsmann is a better coach than Bruce Arena?
Yeah, I could. Yeah. I had to say that. Yeah, I really do. I think a lot of I know Bruce Arena might have gone like 10-0 or whatever the streak was, or the undefeated streak, but a lot of that might have just been smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. No, you're right. I was just curious. Everybody has their opinions at this point.
So, Josh, because
back to and not all of it's going to fall on like Jurgen Klinsmann. There's no telling that if Jurgen Klinsmann was still, our coach, if we would have still been in this position or not.
So, Josh, so we can segue into this. We're going to keep you on to the end of the show because you are part of the deal.
Unless you need to hurl or go to sleep, and then you can do that. We'll give you permission to do that.
So
I'm currently in bed, like dying right now.
Well, Megan's in bed watching us on TV.
I don't want to know what she's doing in bed.
She's a teacher going to sleep.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Anyway, what three are on their way out or definitely should not be back? And what three do you need and do we have to see? Next, go ahead.
Omar Gonzalez, that up the entire cake right there for me.
No, your jack in.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Omar's got to be gone.
I hear him fine.
Go ahead.
Tim Howard's going to be gone, and that's nothing against Tim. That's just he's old. You won't see him anymore.
Yeah.
Honestly, and then players like Matt Beasler, Graham Zuzi, Chris Wondolowski. Good God, please, no, never again.
Okay, so
never
the
again.
three.
I'm done. Not even for a friendly. I don't care if we do a He's Believes tournament next year. Don't even call them up for that. They're done.
On the players that we've recently called up, the three that most definitely come back.
Three that most definitely come back?
Yes.
Michael Bradley's going to be back.
No, your top three, not U.S. Soccer's top three.
Who do you want to come back?
Who do I want to come back?
Yes.
Obviously Christian Pulisic.
Yeah.
Well, he's a given, so try again.
No, he can use that as one. That's fine.
Okay.
We'll accept that.
I mean, obviously Christian Pulisic is a story, but I don't really care about like these guys coming back. DeAndre Yedlin would be one to come back. There wasn't a whole lot of standouts for me.
Okay.
I guess Darlington Nagby would be my third, but I'm not even caring about these guys coming back. Like Josh Sargent, Eric Palmer Brown, if he learns not to put the ball in his own net, those kind of young players. Those are the guys I want to see now.
Okay.
The young talent pool that we're about to develop.
Then let me throw this out there too, because I want you guys to give one out too. Player that is not currently playing in the youth system at all, or the national team currently that has yet to get a call up.
Christian Ramirez.
That's exactly who I was going to say. Actually, I mean the guy's been playing his heart out.
He plays for one of the worst teams in the MLS, and he tears it up with them.
Yeah.
I
mean, if Wando can get a call up for being on one of the worst teams in the past.
If you had Christian Ramirez on the pitch the other night, he probably would have won that game for us.
That's a very, very astute observation.
I agree with him.
But look what he's done with Minnesota. Yeah. Like, I mean, the players that they're going to have to build around Christian Ramirez to be a team that's going to compete in MLS. But, this guy is a player of that caliber that needs to be on the national team.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, and he's one I threw out earlier. And there's more than just him. There are plenty of players that deserve an opportunity. Say what you will about certain players, but they definitely deserve an opportunity. And we've seen the same players for 2 cycles now, and we've seen varying results. But the fact is, we're not seeing improvement over time. And if you're not seeing improvement over time, it's time to try out some different players, and it's time to try out something different.
All right, because we are into the 9 o'clock hour. Go ahead.
Yeah. We said we were going to 10.
I will say fast. Real fast.
Your girlfriend said 4 hours.
As much as the cost of missing the World Cup, this could be a hidden gem for USA.
I completely agree with you, and that is something that I've said is that really sometimes you need these kinds of moments where things just go as bad as they possibly can. You have to hit rock bottom so that you can finally understand that things need to change, that people in the positions of power can finally see that things need to change, and change can be made. My biggest concern, and I think you'll echo the sentiment, Josh, is you can make change, and it can be the wrong kind of change. It can be a bad kind of change, not the right kind of change that needs to be made. And so I just hope that this kind of thing turns into the right kind of change, that the mentality changes in the right direction, that things focus in the right direction, that we just don't have another cycle like we just did where instead of focusing on where the issues really are, we just change coaches and we move on. If that's all that happens from this cycle, if that's all that happens is Bruce Arena's fired and we bring in another coach, we will never improve just beyond the point of where we are now, which is trying to qualify for a World Cup, let alone making the round of 16, let alone making the semis or the quarters or the quarters of the semis or the finals. Forget that. I just want to qualify for a freaking World Cup now.
Yeah.
That's sad. To go from round to 16 quality to this?
Sean.
4 years.
3 to go, 3 to stay, and 1 currently not playing.
3 to go. Michael Bradley is definitely top of my list. Second is Clint Dempsey just because of the age. Third is Tim Howard. Actually, I'm going to change. Not Tim Howard. It's going to be Brad Guzan because simply Tim Howard's already gone anyways, in my opinion. So those 3. Oh God, I've got 4. Omar Gonzalez needs to go as well.
Well, he's a given too.
He's like a 3. He's like a 1A. I mean, like top of my list really. Players that need to stay.
Omar Gonzalez never needs to play in MLS nor USA.
He needs to never see the pitch again. I mean, he's going to see it in Liga MX, but I could care less.
On a side note, I told Megan.
I've hated him. I've hated him since he injured Kalen Carr. I hate him.
I told Megan, I said, if he ever comes to MLS, I will make sure I get vault passes for that match, and I will berate him. Like,
I'm glad that
I'll get you. I'll get you in the tunnel pre-match, so you can just, you can just sit there and give him a nice little butt pet as he walks by.
Oh, I'm gonna give him more than a butt pat.
Kick in the ass.
I'm gonna punch him clear in the balls. This is what you did to U.S. soccer.
Anyways, so 3 to stay. Like I said, Pulisic is number 1, but that's a given.
Yeah.
I agree that Fabian Johnson is my number 2, even though he wasn't part of this team. He should be part of this team. He should have been part of this team. Jeff Cameron, he should have been part of this team. He should have been starting. I don't care about fitness levels. I don't care that he just played. I don't care that he's not I don't care that he's not adapted to the humidity or the heat. None of your players look like they were adapted to the heat or humidity. So get out of here with that, Bruce Arena.
80 degrees.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't even that bad. And then my third player, excluding Pulisic, because like I said, he's a given. My third player, and this is going to sound really funny, but Matt Beasler.
All right. Well, we'll come back to you. We're going to go to break.
Your butters, we don't care.
Well, since
that's
we got
basically
to
what he just said to you.
Yeah. So we got to go to break. Sean, where can they find us?
You can find us on, first of all, you can find us on the Texas Sports Radio Network. No, Sports, what is it? Texas Sports Radio, yeah, something like that. Texas Sports Review Net Radio Network. There we go. I know I'd get it eventually. Via TuneIn, the TuneIn app, you can download that. We are on KTXF, DB, The Real, The Peel on the Reel.
Also, TuneIn is on the App Store on Samsung TVs.
Oh, nice. You can listen on your Samsung TV. Is that where Megan's watching us?
No,
she's watching on YouTube. Yeah, that's cool. You can also find us on YouTube, like we just said, Facebook, Twitter, The Peel 2005, or The Peel 05 on Twitter. And SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music, and we can go to break now.
Yep.
It's hot, by the way. I'm going to go turn the AC on.
what's up? It's Kyle Murphy, and you're listening to Down in the Valley with the Peel.
We're back.
3, 2, 1, go. Dot,
0.
dot, dot, dot,
Negative
dot,
1. Negative 2.
Exactly. And we're back. We're The Peel. You're listening to us live on YouTube or on the Texas Sports Review Radio Network. Via.
Did you see Megan's second to last comment?
Let me pull it up and look at it.
The YMCA could take him.
LAFC need to sign him. I agree with that too.
Not even the Toros would want him.
Oh man, could you imagine playing for his dad in LAFC?
All right, so we are back. We are The Peel. And
I already said this.
I know.
Slacker.
We left off. Edson, 3 to stay, 3 to go.
Okay, 3 to go. It's Michael Bradley, Omar Gonzalez, and what's the name of it? He plays in the Liga MX, I think, with Tijuana.
That's Omar.
No, that's Pachuca. Corona.
Joe Corona.
To never come back.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can see that.
Did he get a call up though? Corona?
But I just don't want to.
By the way, in case you forgot, Josh is still with us.
Yes, Josh is still with us.
I can hear him trying to chime in over there.
He sounds like he's breathing heavy. He's about to die.
Michael Bradley though not coming back, I think he should come back, just not as like the captain or the leader of this team, because he's not the captain or the leader. He's good at the top of the box, but
he's kind of like Rico. He's a very quiet leader, right? And we've seen how that worked with the Dynamo. So I don't want him coming back. I'm done with him.
You didn't give your current player that's not playing in the system right now.
Oh, well, that's Christian Ramirez.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Michael Ibarra.
Yes. I totally forgot about him.
Jorginho James. No, he's Brazilian. I'm just kidding.
I guess you could also, technically, you could throw Dom out there.
Dom Dwyer? Dom Dwyer. Well, but you said in the system. He's in the system now. I have to consider.
Is he officially cap-tied now?
Yeah, he's cap-tied. He played. Remember, he scored a goal.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it was a Dom Dwyer scored 2 goals back-to-back, and he's not playing.
I guess as Corona scores goals.
Corona scores goals is for... Never mind. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
All right, so my 3 to definitely never see back.
So does Bradley.
He didn't say his 3 that are coming in.
Yeah, your 3 that are coming in.
Give me some Liga MX players. Who that?
Jordan Morris.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he's currently he's in the system.
I'll give him credit. He wasn't part of the team this time. Okay, continue. 1. All right, you got 2 more.
Obviously, the ones to stay would be Pulisic, Jordan Morris, and Jeff Cameron.
Okay, and then you're one that's not currently quote unquote in the system. And I'll give you U22s, U20s. I'll give you U17s. You can say Christian Lucatero. It's okay. Or Memo. You can say Memo.
It's got to be Mems.
Memo. I can't argue
Actually,
that.
you know what though?
If he wasn't injured, I would have been okay with that.
Has he gotten a youth call-up?
No.
No.
Luca's gotten more youth call-ups than he has.
So my 3 to definitely go. Omar Gonzalez. I'm not going to say Howard because I don't expect him to come back.
That's what I said.
Bradley. And there's one name I'm definitely... Well, can I give you 4?
You can give me 6.
It's 1 and 1.
You can give me 10 because really there were 10 that shouldn't have. And that's
Bedoya.
Oh, man. Bedoya at least has heart.
Yeah, but he's been a hit or miss over this hex.
So is everybody else.
Yes, but...
Is it coaching or is it players in this case?
I think it's more players, too.
It is. I'm just asking.
And at Wando. If I see Wando put a U.S. kid on again, I swear to God... I can't go into what I swear to God. I don't want to see him.
Wando's going to wear a kid again, I'm just telling you. All right.
Unless it's a send-off.
You're 3 to stay?
3 to stay. Not naming Pulisic because that's a given.
Okay.
I count Dom into the stay.
Okay. I will agree with you.
Wood.
Okay. Who was the second one?
Wood.
Bobby Wood.
Oh,
Bobby Wood.
Wood. I thought you said Lloyd, and I'm like, that's a woman.
I pay her to play.
You know what? I'm going to say this. To be honest, Carly Lloyd was better than every player except for Pulisic out on that pitch.
Yeah. So, not in the system?
And then you're one not in the system. Go ahead and say Christian Ramirez. You brought him up earlier.
Yeah, it's got to be Christian Ramirez. It's got to be.
I'm fine with that.
Do you think in these friendlies, if we do end up playing that, he gets a call-up?
No.
No.
I don't know what the deal is. I mean, if he doesn't get a call-up now.
It's true.
I mean, now, to say it there is so much hanging in the air. Who's our next coach?
Yeah.
If Sunil's going to be part of the system, if he's not, who else is going to see their way out? There's just too much to go before we really can say so-and-so is going to get a call-up or should get a call-up or not get a call-up.
So, we're going to close the book on the U.S. soccer talk. I don't want to talk about it anymore. We got to move on. We got to look in the future.
We will, but we'll talk about it next week and
Yes.
the week after and into the off season.
We are going to have a roundtable where it's just strictly U.S. soccer.
I mean, the good news is we have 4 years to talk about it now. So,
not really. We got about a year and a half till early qualifying starts.
Well, yeah, but we're still going to talk about it after
What they
that.
say.
2 years till
Because
Gold Cup.
again, I told you it's a 10-year process. It's not a 1-year process. Anyways,
To move on, something that Alicia had wanted me to talk about last week. She is an editor on Dynamo Theory.
this one needs to be brought up because this is a good point. Megan asks, "What about Josie? Does Josie come back?" Man, that's so tough.
That's tough because he's shown up and he'll show up for a really good stretch of matches and then he'll either get hurt or he won't.
I feel like he's on the upswing right now.
How old is Josie?
I don't know.
He's got to be late 20s.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
You continue. Go ahead and talk about your thing.
Yes. So Texas United SC, youth program here in Houston. During Hurricane Harvey, he's 27.
Yes.
Okay, 27.
He's got another cycle in him.
Yeah, he's got one more cycle. Was left paralyzed by Harvey, and they lost everything. And when I say everything, all their equipment's gone. And they're not just one team. They're a program that has multiple youth teams.
I'm gonna chime in. Brian Page in the comments said Alfredo Morales. You can continue.
Okay.
Yeah, I've also seen Cam Weaver thrown out there. So.
Their youth program lost everything. They play all different levels of competitive soccer. Alicia and Dynamo Theory have started a $30,000 fundraising goal to help replace some of the equipment that they lost. Just to go over some of these prices, and I was talking to Sean prior to this, and it's mind-boggling. $3,900 for nets that need to be replaced. $5,400 in rebounders. Corner flags about $700. Portable goals $800 for practices. Soccer balls alone, because it's a big program. $1,100. Training cones $3,100. Field rentals for 6 weeks $3,000. So I will post a link to this on our article on Dynamo Theory this week. Try to get that out tonight. I will post a link on the description for the podcast and the YouTube show when I go back and re-edit it and add all the pretty stuff to it.
And SoundCloud.
I will add all of that. So definitely take a look at it. We're not asking you to donate $30,000. I'm asking you to donate $1, $5, $10. Whatever.
Donate what you can.
Donate what you can. These kids, and this here is part of this whole discussion that we've had with the youth system.
Absolutely.
If these kids can't get this, that's another academy that doesn't have kids to push through.
Agreed.
So help them out. It's different when they do have money, but considering that it was a total loss, they need help. So
agreed.
So that's that. Thank you for listening this week. You. I almost totally forgot. Go ahead and set up your Down the Valley stuff.
Okay, so because of this whole discussion that we had today regarding the Dynamo and specifically that mess that was the U.S. soccer, Down in the Valley is going to be postponed until Saturday. Carson and I will be doing a special episode, a longer episode, regarding obviously the South Texas Derby between RGB Toros and San Antonio FC for the final game of the season. As well as we'll also be talking about the comments that RGBFC President Bert Garcia made during this week.
And you definitely want to tune in for that, by the way, or at least listen.
Regarding attendance as well as the soccer program in and of itself, and how the Toros have been doing for this season, and what's out there for the future of the Toros. We'll be talking about that as well. So be sure to keep an eye out on SoundCloud, YouTube as well for this special extended edition of Down in the Valley. I really would. Me and Carson would really appreciate your support in trying something new because we love our GVSC and we feel like there's a lot of stuff that we would love to talk about, but we just don't have the time to do so.
And it fits in with this discussion if you think about it. I mean, this is all part of the development process and part of the pipeline that we've been talking about.
People don't understand how big the umbrella is and
it's
what this did from the top down.
There's an impact of this that goes well beyond
Fox
just MLS.
Soccer's going to lose how much money?
Millions.
Yeah, hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
I mean, they paid
They're
$600
not gonna
million.
have the
They paid
ratings.
$600 million for the rights to this.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna check out.
Josh,
tonight.
go to sleep, man. Go get better, brother.
Hey, y'all have a good night. Love you guys. Justin, make sure you watch this game.
I will. What's the score right now? Please tell me I'm up.
Your boys just took the lead, 18-10.
18-10.
All right, I'm okay with this.
All right, Josh.
All right,
Thanks
bro,
again,
get
man.
All right.
Oh.
This guy.
All right.
Way to cut them off. Anyway,
So it's like here.
blame
Josh.
Sean. He was a little premature.
That was
there.
my fault, Josh. I'm sorry.
But thank you very much, guys, for listening. It was amazing. We've been getting a lot of feedback from Chris, from KTXF, all that. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, just remember you're listening to The Peel on KTXF, DB The Real, a part of the Texas Sports Radio, Texas Sports Review Radio Network. You can listen to us live on the TuneIn app, YouTube, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. God, I don't know. I'm still stuck on the. I want to try to stall for about 2 more minutes because it'll get us to 9:20.
But technically we started early, so I mean we started right at 7. So.
Yeah. But again, I mean, to think that a lot of these people that
So
follow
okay,
us.
Wait. Is there any other
Megan,
news
where are your
points?
Saints
Is there any
anyway?
other news points or anything that you want to talk about?
I had it up and I closed it out, but then the article didn't have any validity, so I closed it out.
So, right on.
It didn't.
So apparently
President Sepp Blatter. So are you high?
So
I want to say this, and this ties into the U.S. soccer stuff, but kind of not really. How fitting was it that it was Ramon Torres, of all players, to knock us out of the World Cup?
Roman?
Roman Torres, sorry,
Yeah.
Roman Torres, yeah, from Panama, and a center back scoring a forward goal because he stayed up to score the goal. I mean, it was.
Can I also say, Elise and Kyoto showed up against Mexico, and I hope they bring that fire Sunday, excuse me.
So Patrick says next week he's going to call in and explain or attempt to explain the USSF coaching licensing situation.
We're down.
It is totally screwed up, Patrick. Just so you know, I've done a lot of research into it myself. I've even actually started the process to become a USSF F license coach. So I've started that process, so I can definitely talk about it with you for sure, and we definitely look forward to your call in next week. Same number.
But again, thank you. I mean, 50 freaking episodes, and
It's incredible.
Still growing.
Here's to 50 more.
Yeah, 50 more.
And as you can see behind us, Houston Strong.
Yes,
And
Houston
Forever
Strong.
Orange.
Again, love you guys. Tune in next week. We'll be back. We'll be back Wednesday.
Wednesday. We will be back to Wednesday.
We'll be back Wednesday.
And just so you know, that is our regular day moving forward. The only time we will change it is when there is a match on a Wednesday and we need to shift to either a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that out there.
All right.
And we will continue to be on KTXF,
we
DB
will.
The Real,
I will start tweeting out the link to
a
that in the
Texas
App Store.
Sports Review Radio
There you go.
Network.
He got it.
All right, guys. Till tomorrow. You want to do that again?
We already did it.
Forever Orange, Houston Strong.
It's lame. If you do it once, you can't do it twice.
So, who are you?
Huh?
Who are you?
Sign out.
Oh, I'm Sean.
I'm Edson.
And I'm Justin.
These butters, don't let them tell you otherwise.
Till next week, guys.
Forever Orange.
Forever Orange.